Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Whiskey and Cannolis podcast, episode number 26, actually. Back and better than ever. We are here with a good episode today. We're going to talk a little comic book news about the Joker. We're going to talk about getting into the sci-fi world, how you start cinema, what movies, what shows to watch. We also have a special guest, last minute edition, but I'm very happy to have this dude on. Been looking forward to collaborating him for a while. So let's bring on our guest slowly and get the chat going here. So, of course, we have the lovely Mrs. Cannoli Sasquatch.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right. So we have Mrs. Sasquatch, of course. And then we have the lovely and the sexiest man alive, Filipino Meatball's back. Hello, Meatball. No, your hips don't lie. Neither does that sexy beard.
Are you wearing a polo shirt?
Listen, it was a long
polo shirt?
I got home late from work, and this is what I had to wear. So
you have your own merch. What are you talking about?
Well, the missus is wearing it.
She showed up with the right stuff.
All right, listen.
Always. I always show up.
We have a special guest. It's the last minute edition, but he's perfect for this topic, and he has some good topics about AI art. Had a great video about that recently. I've been trying to collaborate with this dude for a while. We finally got together. We'll bring him on, the one and only Mr. John A. Douglas. How you doing, sir?
I know that I'm here under duress.
Yes, I threatened him. I did. I said, "You better be on the show, or else."
Why do you think I show up now? I have to live with him, and I have strict rules.
Yep.
Fair enough. Now I got a habit when I go on a live stream. I got to do this every time. I got to roll, see how it's going to go.
Nice.
No fudging the dice. Not at my table. 18. Fantastic.
That's good. Yeah. I like that
tradition.
tradition.
You have to take? I'm way behind then.
No, it's okay. You got me covered. You can have my drink.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. By the way, this right here will hold 3 Trulies. Just throwing that out there in case
you guys are Trulies. You got the
Look, tonight is tropical punch night.
Oh my God.
I'm doing strawberry lemonade, and let me tell you, the kid got a refrigerator for her for Christmas in her room, a mini fridge. So they're stocked in there. So all she has to do is run it in from her room, so she doesn't have to go downstairs.
Or crack it.
Usually I have a cooler. Nah, she doesn't. She doesn't like it. She's fine.
Yeah,
she doesn't have a little one under her yet.
What now?
Because she doesn't have a little tiny human yet either.
I know.
No,
but she's
never.
wearing a shirt. She wanted me to tell you she's wearing a shirt.
Never.
Oh, God damn.
Listen, we like to spoil our children sometimes, but
she has a refrigerator and a snack cabinet, so we don't see her. We don't see her very often anymore.
That sounds lovely for you.
A child of today.
I got a 16-year-old. If I put a fridge with snacks and drinks in it, it'd be gone by the end of the weekend.
She does pretty well, but she's like a teenage boy too, though. She eats. She likes her snacks, so I feel you on that. Midweek, we're running a little thin.
We're running low.
This is where that Costco membership comes into play.
I love my Costco membership. I get her a big package of Propels because that's what she drinks. 24 a week at least. Yeah.
By the way, I'm trying to do this beard thing that you guys are doing, but you see, I'm old and I have gray, so it's coming in, but you can't really see it very well.
Look, it would be weird if your hair wasn't gray, but it will look distinguished when it gets in.
Is that what old people say when they just get old and start getting gray shit everywhere? That it's just distinguished.
That's what I said. That's what I told them. Like. That's people tell me.
If you can get a little more up top and shape it just right, you can get that whole silver fox thing going on.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, women love the silver fox.
I call myself the cannoli fox.
Silver cannoli fox over here.
Let's see here. Let's see who's Yeti Fox. Yeah, we got many nicknames we can call me. All right, so we're gonna jump in the chat real quick just to kind of address everything before we get going here. So of course we have Mama Cannoli, how you doing there? And then, of course, Advent Real World finally is able to stream. Through some of the advice from Mr. Douglas here and some others, we're telling him how to get restreams on. Apparently, his Chromebook cannot do anything else but restream. So he's trying. I'll give him the credit. I watched.
I'm shocked that the Chromebook can even do that. I bought a Chromebook a few years ago, not really knowing what it was, and when I found out it's basically just Google with a keyboard, like, and for writing it is just it was absolutely useless.
It's bad.
I had one for when I was working on my master's degree, and I was like, this is the biggest pile of shit on the planet.
It's really bad. Chromebooks are really just like I'd rather buy the crappiest laptop I can for $200. Anything's better.
No, literally just buy
buy like I did. Buy a laptop.
The thing for your iPad.
Yeah,
your phone with a keyboard is a better computer than a Chromebook.
I agree.
Sorry, World. We love you anyway. We got Wookie B Bad in the chat. Of course, my man always coming through on Friday nights. Jana Catania. Of course, the other half of my boy Copa Catania, who is also in the chat. How you guys doing tonight? Vex Electronica, always another person on my Monday show. Love having you here always. Yeah, we're just of course, there's Copa throwing knowledge. What is Copa saying here? A show with the word whiskey in the title. Everyone's drinking Trulies and water. Yeah, well, nobody said. Yeah, listen. Well, here's the thing. Whiskey Banger is the one I started the show with. He's been absent recently, but it's understandable. His wife just had a baby. He's working extra to support this family. So he will be back at some point. Yes, but he's taking care of his family. He's doing the right thing.
Until I steal him and put him in my own company.
Yeah, well, you should.
Oh, I was keyed into the private chat. No wonder I couldn't see anybody. I had a Gary moment. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. We have these. This is what I mean. Live and learn, buddy. Okay, so let's see. A silver squatch, Vex said. That's what I'd be called, the silver squatch. I like that. It's kind of a good. Yeah. Tyler the Redbeard's in here. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, buddy? Sharpie's in here. We got a bunch of people in here. So we got some things to talk about today. And actually, Meatball, for you, Douglas is kind of a good he's going to be a good segue into that second part of the podcast where we're going to jump into a little bit of the sci-fi world. Mr. Douglas himself obviously is an author as well. He's got some stuff. We'll get into that. We'll kind of give him an introduction into his stuff. He's got some new stuff coming out in the near future. We got writers all over the place. I got Copa, who's writing books, Mr. Douglas, who's writing books. It's fantastic. It's a world I never thought I'd ever meet these kind of people. This is why this community is amazing. So I really do appreciate being part of it, and it is fun. So I had to start though with what everybody was talking about this week with this Joker comic. So I know that I know with Meatball and Whiskey Banger, we kind of the first people I sent out into the thread was the photo with them. This before I hit Twitter, because Whiskey Banger is a big comic book fan. And I said, hey, look what they're doing to one of our favorite villains, probably the greatest villain ever created in comic book history. And this is what we're doing. So listen, I'm not a comic book aficionado. I'm kind of a newbie, but everybody knows the Joker. Everybody knows Batman Joker dynamic. So in this book, this comic Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, they decided, hey, let's make the Joker pregnant. And that's not a joke. I literally thought it was a parody when I first saw it. I literally came onto Twitter. I seriously thought it was a joke, and I wasn't the only one. Then I read more into it and then the details of what this was. I'm going to share this real quick because holy crap, man. This is where we've gone. This is where DC is gone. This is where the lengths that Marvel is going. So it goes into detail here about it's The Man Who Stopped Laughing #4. And then we get this. So let me ask our guest first, John. Now, you see this on social media. Do you think this is a parody, or are you just like, no, this is where comic books have gone in the modern age? This seems about right.
Honestly, I wish I could say I was surprised, but quite frankly, I'm not. This is almost exactly the definition of the meme on tonight's episode of the writer's barely contained fetish. Make no mistake about it, this is a fetish thing, and they used as much magic mumbo jumbo from what I read to make this actually happen. And It very clearly there's no story reason for this that justifies such ridiculous retardation. But I noped out of the mainstream comics years ago, even before I noped out of mainstream entertainment in general. And just aside from the politicization, it's probably the thing that insults me the most with a lot of this is these people don't know how to tell stories. And as somebody who's been writing since I was 13 and reading excessively, fantasy, murder mystery, science fiction, westerns, I'm almost as much of a voracious reader as I am a writer. But more than that, I'm a student of story and the craft of storytelling. And you can have ridiculous shit like this, but this is just, beyond stupid. I mean, I don't see any real, justification for this other than it's either trying to catch headlines or the writer is very obviously putting their kink on display for the whole world to see, which given some of the sex pests that have popped up in the comic book industry in the last decade or so, it's not shocking whatsoever. These people got issues, and I don't mean the comic variety.
No, I completely agree with you. It's totally a straight fetishization, and it's really just embarrassing, and hence why we need people. We've said this a million times before. You need independent people to come out and kind of fight against this stuff. Now, Meatball, obviously Meatball probably just as casual as a comic book fan as most, and so but everybody knows the Joker though. So as a casual person, just kind of brushing up against this. What the hell, man? Like, do you sit there and go, why? Why is this necessary? Like, for a guy who doesn't read comic books, what do you think when you see something like this? Do you see it as straight, this is just what the industry is? Is it a surprise?
It's the same thing I say at work. I don't lead credence to any kind of bullshit like this. Like at some point, like, you have to be true to the original, right? You can do your take on it, your twist on it. But other than that, why use the Joker, right? Pick a different medium, create your own medium. But like, if you're gonna use the Joker and then push this agenda, I don't even think it's like tapping into your own, sexual fetishes or whatever it is, right? Your own kinks or whatever. I think it's more tapping into a cry for help. Like, I feel someone needs to do a 5150 on the author of this. Like, like, I'm genuinely concerned at this point. Yeah, I'm concerned for your wellness after this came out. You not only did you create this, you presented it to a publisher, and they said, "Sure, yeah, let's go with it."
Yeah.
That's probably the thing that's most egregious. This had to go through layers. This had to go through people. This had an editorial process had to go through, and nobody had the guts to tell them, "Don't put that in there, please."
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's like if it was a leaked one that got canned, right? Like, we could have the conversation about, oh, that's really weird or whatever. This got approved. There's people that rubber stamped this thing through.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's he gives birth to a mud monster, and they try to justify it as the days have gone on about how, because a little bit of information and more of the story came out. Well, first of all, the art doesn't even look that great. It's just very mediocre. It's a mediocre storytelling.
What artist would want to get on board with that?
I mean, yeah, that's a good point.
Like, if I'm an artist, why would I want to put my name attached to that?
Something to this.
Whether I agree or disagree with it, it's controversial, and I don't need that in my career.
Yeah.
Alan Smithy wrote it.
Yeah.
I bet he did. Did anyone?
No, I mean it's.
Alan Smithy is an in-joke in the film industry. They would use that name for directors who were too embarrassed to admit that they were attached to a project. They used it most famously that I know of for Dune. David Lynch didn't initially want his name on the cut that went to theaters.
See, this is why I'm glad I have Mr. Douglas on, because there's a lot of stuff that little insights. It's great info. It's great insight, because then again, now you know. So then they try to explain into this in the story about he had a confrontation between Joker. It was a confrontation between Joker and Zatanna. Is it yeah? And basically, she puts a curse on him or something like that. And this is like her repentance for him, is that she makes him pregnant. And then it goes even worse. Like, it goes into detail. You can even see it here. It's like, well, what do we have here? I think you're pregnant. I think you're right. Do we have a good OBGYN to use? Like, what the hell? You're just, I'm sitting here just reading this dumbfounded. I'm like, who the hell is buying this crap? Why does just comic books, media, everything, why do they keep pushing this crap? And then again, like you said, and it goes into more detail about him actually on the You like when women go to the OBGYN. And John, do you know who the character was? The skull character, that was actually checking him. I remember there was an actual. If I could find it, he's on the getting checked out by an OBGYN, and it's a flaming skull that's checking him out.
It looked a little like Bette Midler, but I don't think she's a part of the DC universe.
Wait,
she is scary though.
Did you assume that? Because with what they're doing here, I wouldn't put it out of the realm at this point.
Yeah, I don't put anything past them. I don't know who the character particularly is, and
yeah, I'd have to
frankly, I kind of don't. It does it really matter at this point?
No.
Telling the Joker, "Do you know we have a good OBGYN?" is not a series of words in the English language I ever expected to hear being printed or said out loud. But
100%,
it's 2023, and if there's anything I've learned, it's not to underestimate the kind of insanity that's happened if they just hadn't shot that damn gorilla, right? If Harambe was still here, we would not have gone down into this timeline. Oh, and by the way, happy January 6th, everyone.
Yes,
a day in American history in which our nation's stupidest people truly believe that a bunch of cosplayers with flags and no guns almost overthrew the Republic.
Can I say something real quick? I was a little annoyed with that because I'm off on Fridays and I ran a bunch of errands today, and I sat down for a second to what? Is your refrigerator full, sir?
I'm not. I didn't say anything. I don't know.
Did you get your deodorant and all the shit you need to conduct your life?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, did you go already to the store? Because I need you to go to GameStop. I need a controller.
Hey, listen.
Yeah,
you can blame Vex for that one. She got me into Game Pass. Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
my point is that I sat down for a second at 1:00 and I wanted to just check in with this soap opera that I've been watching for many, many years. It's stupid. I like to check in. Needless to say, dumbass was on, looking like an idiot, talking about January 6th and awarding people who saved the day during January. How annoyed was I that I wanted to watch my soap opera and dumb shit was on there, and he's standing on the stage not knowing where to go. He's an embarrassment.
Staring at the air. Yeah, staring at the sky.
He was. There was one point where he finished his speech, right? And I was like watching it for a second, and it was cringeworthy because he's standing there and he's got his hands down to his sides like this, and he's just standing there and he's going, and he's waiting to be told what he is. Anyway, I was annoyed because I wanted to watch my soap opera, and he was running his mouth about something that happened on January 6th, apparently.
Well, of course, they're going to make a big deal out of it, yeah.
Yeah, they gave awards out today to the people that saved the day.
Some chick in the freaking hallway. That's what happened a year ago on January 6th.
Mrs. Cannoli, if I may say, and this is a quote that I use very frequently. It's paraphrased from a quote spoken by Michael Landon in Marty Feldman's lost comedy classic, the last remake of Beau Geste.
Okay.
Yes.
Awards are like hemorrhoids. Sooner or later, every asshole gets one.
Absolutely. You are absolutely right.
That is very true.
That is very true. And you know what, in the day and age of participation trophies, that couldn't be, more true. So
we've already established participation trophies elected Joe Biden. So clearly they didn't work.
Of course, but it was just I still can't believe, and like I said, I don't care what side you're on, but you can't look at this man and feel comfortable that he is in charge of our country. He seriously looks like he's confused all the time.
Hold on. You think he's in charge of the country?
No, he ain't.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. He's I forgot. Steward.
As I genuinely wonder, in the depths of my soul, what I really want to know at the end of the day is, what do they geek him up on to make a public appearance and speak even as close to coherently as he can manage?
No, I seriously agree with you, because there's something so unnatural about the way he speaks, and the way it's almost like he's drugged of some sort. He just reads the teleprompter. It's weird. It's a very strange. You know what? Listen, I wasn't a huge Obama fan, but I could listen to that man speak. He spoke well. He had a way of delivering information. Whether you agreed with what he said, I'm saying how he spoke
better
the
than
information.
Yeah,
You know, I voted
objectively
for him.
speaking, Obama was a well-spoken man. When he had
that's
a
what I mean.
teleprompter, when his
Okay.
teleprompter was out of his sight, he was
Yeah.
He mumbled a lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
he stumbled across his words.
And then
yeah.
Trump didn't need one at all because he didn't care what the teleprompter
He
said.
didn't care.
He
He
was
just
going to say
said
what
what he
was
had
in
to
his
say. Yeah.
right. But it was really really painful today.
Sometimes I just miss the way he says China.
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 Like that's
The
really
China.
slay.
They give him a B12 shot in Sudafed. He says, "Yeah, I can see."
You know what? That is true because when I worked in the hospital and I was a pharmacy technician, and whenever I, was really tired or did late shift and then came in the morning, a friend of mine would give me like this, medicine pack, and it had all that stuff in there, and it would really it was almost like crack. So they have to be giving him pharmaceutical crack.
As a nurse, I got my own theories, and I don't know, cocaine and Adderall. Who knows?
Oh, there you go.
It's got to be a mix. I was like, he's got to have some Adderall with some B12 with some straight pure like caffeine and the stuff that they banned in the 90s for bodybuilding and shit. Like they got to make a cocktail up and jam that shit into him.
You know what they do? Because he acts like a 4-year-old half the time. They probably just give him like special cocoa pebbles or something or ice cream for breakfast with a bunch of, and they hop him up on sugar because he's like, he just seems like such a dillweed. Well, whatever.
Might be white powder, but it ain't sugar.
We should get my wife on here. She's got very similar. You'd probably like her, Mrs. Cannoli.
I'm sure
very opinionated, but she's also very camera shy.
Oh,
I get that. I do understand that.
I do.
Well, I am too.
I'm trying to get her out of her shell some, but
just have her drink a couple of these. I drink. Listen,
drink a whole case of Trulies, and she'll be doing stuff on.
When I had to fill in for Cannoli that one time when I did the very first podcast by myself with whiskey, I had to pregame because I was so nervous, and so what'd you say?
Nothing.
I don't know what you're talking about. We're anyway. Yeah. I actually forgot. I was so busy at work today, I forgot the date, and then halfway through, I was listening to a podcast, and I'm like, "Oh, today's Insurrection Day," and I'm like, "Oh, that's right, it's been a year." And then obviously just a lot of white noise in the background, a lot of politicians hitting the social media circuit and posting their thoughts, and even our own stupid governor here now, this fake governor we have here in Arizona now that pulled the 2020 on the election. She had to get involved and talk about getting rid of extremists in the state. I'm like, then you're gonna have to start with yourself there, Katie Hobbs, because you're part of the problem. But
I have nothing else to say. Anything I could say about her would get me kicked off of most social media platforms.
Yes, 100% accurate. So that's why I stay away, because it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. Because you know what? Yeah, it's just, I agree with you, and I just I let it go. But me and Meatball, we live in the same state, and we got to deal with this bull crap.
At least you're done counting.
Finally. Are they though?
They probably there's a couple more boxes they still haven't counted just in case they needed them.
I think they're checking things off though with crayons, so I think it's.
I know that Lake is still suing, but of course nothing's going to come out of this. It's the same shit as 2020. Nothing's going to happen.
Because then they just come out and say that we're crybabies and we can't take a loss and it's always cheating. Blah 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 blah. It's exhausting.
Ooh, thank you, Roger Stevens, for subscribing. You're a swell fella. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you very much.
Wait, are you assigning a gender?
Well, I'm assuming it's a man because it says Roger. And if he's subscribing to this channel, he's probably like going by pronouns. So
I'm just doing what Meatball does. Because Meatball is usually the one. See,
there is a person in my department that has a very masculine name that is not masculine, and also my daughter has a very masculine name that is not. My
name could go either way as well.
But your daughter's name could go either way. It's established already.
Yeah.
Look,
so
my daughter's named after
I once knew a
baseball pitcher in the history of the planet.
Exactly.
I can't believe you got away with that.
I totally got away.
I don't blame him. Nolan Ryan.
I once knew a guy his honest to God, his name was Ashley. Don't laugh though. Unfortunately, he died when his truck got flipped many years ago. but I've seen many instances of guys with traditionally girls' names.
I knew a man named Shannon, and he was very manly. Remember Cannoli? It was a realtor that we dealt with. His name was Shannon.
Yeah,
I've seen that. My best friend growing up was a girl named Shannon, who then later became a lesbian, who is very masculine now. So kind of
there
fits
you go.
the name.
Are you still friends? Do they have videos? Can we watch?
Oh my God.
You wouldn't want to watch these.
Leave the man alone.
Okay. Never mind. My apologies. I retract my previous.
I guess it doesn't hurt to ask, though, right?
She's lived a hard life, and it shows on her face, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, with women, that's
know
where it
people
shows
like that.
first.
Oh, wait, hold on. I like Tyler. You have a point. No camera mishaps. The audio's good. Yes, we're borderline.
Wait.
Use that term
does
loosely.
my audio sound good, Tyler? I gotta know because I'm.
But
super
it's
worried
early.
about it.
Listen, so I was going to try to do this whole podcast without headphones and just listen to you guys, but I am hearing impaired. I do have hearing aids that I can't use with this. So I am plugged in. I've plugged this in. So
there might be a
still
mishap.
early in the I'm trying really hard because I don't want it to be like
deep in the trulies.
Right, but I don't want it to be like that happens every time. It's not funny if it happens every
pretty
time.
much.
So I'm trying really hard, but I couldn't hear, so I had to plug these in.
I rolled an 18, remember? Because we got the,
he rolled an 18.
High edge on it. We're rolling good.
Good. It's good.
Okay,
we're good. We're good.
I'm trying really hard to be perfect. I've got my tripod. We'll see.
Yeah, we're doing
it's
well.
early.
Yeah, the magic. It's the Cannoli. It's the Sasquatch tripod trick. That's what we call it.
Yeah, because I still have to be, summoned to the bedroom and sit on a folding chair in front of my wall.
Okay, guys. Keep the bedroom talk to yourselves. Okay?
Yeah, not for nothing. This is a family-friendly show.
I'm by myself in the bedroom. So.
Although I am interested to hear what a Cannoli tripod is, and I would want that in writing, please.
You don't want to know.
Thank you, Tyler.
Listen. It's a three-legged idiot. That's what a Cannoli tripod is.
Damn, Cannoli. She said it's as big as a leg. Get up on it.
Well, since I've lost so much weight, it's never mind. We're not going to go there. They say things grow when you lose weight, and it's actually
they say every 25 or 30 pounds you lose, you gain a half inch.
You gain I'm just going to put this to bed. Literally, almost to bed. It is true. That's all I got to say. That's all I'm going to say. Yes.
Your mother is listening.
She's an adult.
She's seen it.
She's had 2 children. Come on. How do you think that happened? Let's see.
It started out as a back rub.
Ego.
Ego, what's up, Ego? He said, I'm hearing impaired too. I'll let you know about hearing aids that'll set up.
I'll answer him. I was just typing him, but I'll answer. So I do have Bluetooth hearing aids that hook up to this phone. Isn't your wife's hearing important to you?
I mean, is a wife's hearing important to any man?
I'm like, that's really a tough question.
No, I need to hear what you have to say. You don't need to hear what I have to say. That's how it goes.
Okay, if you say so.
Anyway,
so I'm going to plead the 5th.
I
don't want to see John get hit in the face all of a sudden.
She's from Alabama. She ain't nice. She ain't that nice either.
But I do have hearing aids that hook up to my phone that are Bluetooth. However, Cannoli told me when I used them on the first podcast, they sounded like garbage. So I am not allowed to use them when podcasting. So, but I do have a really good pair that work really well. They look like AirPods actually, but I think I'm going to have to invest in the actual ones, but they're so expensive. These were cost effective, but they just don't sound good, I guess, when I'm on the podcast. No. So this is all for you people.
Well, they're made for hearing.
You can get the nicest ones you want.
I know they're meant for hearing, Cannoli, but they double as, so I can listen to my audiobooks.
I know.
Because I need to be able to listen to my audiobooks, but hear the outside world.
So, yeah, speaking of hearing the outside world, so John, since you're here on the chat, I never had you on yet, so let's do this. So give the people in my chat, I know we kind of cross-platform a few of our prior listeners, but people who don't know you, tell us about your background a little bit, your writing stuff, like how you got into that and what you have planned going forward, because I know you got a lot of interesting stuff coming up.
I do, and a lot of it started a few years ago when I kind of fell into the geeks and gamers and nerdrotic camp of, and it was great to find them because for years and years I felt like I was the only sane person in the world. Because I had a lot of normie friends, and it's like I'm sitting there watching a lot of movies and things going. This it started really with the Star Wars sequels, and everybody's like, "Oh, aren't they great?" And I'm like, just something feels off. Couldn't put my name couldn't put my thing on it, and they weren't great movies. And then I was like, finally, somebody besides me says it. I found out there's a lot of people that are out there that were able to articulate my opinion a lot better than I could, and I delayed getting on YouTube for a long time. But writing was always the passion. When I was 16, I started off reading full-fledged novels when I was like 12. So I read Jurassic Park was the first novel I ever read, and when the movie dropped, and I was 12, and I read even though I had like learning disabilities from having undiagnosed autism. Reading was the one thing I was exceptionally good at. I was always 2 grades ahead in reading comprehension. Wow. And finishing that book was great. And then I fell into Star Wars, the expanded universe. Going through the 90s, I was reading sci-fi, and then I fell into fantasy. And fantasy was where I really just kind of fell in love with the genre. Hold on, I actually have it right here. The first two books that I ever read was The Crystal Shard by R.A. Salvatore. And that one was pretty good for when I read it. And then but I got caught by the Dragonlance books, Dragons of Autumn Twilight by Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman. And I was a hobby writer for a long time, and in between trying to really nail down how to write a novel and balance the work-life equation, and try to get to where my job was sufficient enough that I could have the time to fund my hobbies. And finally, in 2020, watching Nerdrotic and all of them, I got the impetus I finally got the inspiration to he's like, go on, just get your camera, just get your microphone, put it out there, and start talking, and just start talking about what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, what you're knowledgeable about. And that collided at the same time. I had the idea for the book that I'm going to be publishing soon. And I saw how other YouTubers like Eric July and Ethan Van Sciver and John De La Rose were using their YouTube platform to help market themselves on social media. And that ended up being a place where their stuff could, have a wider audience. So all this kind of collided together with earlier last year. I finally pulled the trigger on a YouTube channel. And, at first I was just trying to find, where was I going to fit in all of this YouTube stuff, and bit by bit getting better and better, and bit by, adding better camera, better microphone, better editing. I had to learn how to video edit. That was new to me, but it was a necessary skill. And thank God for Filmora, because it's
Filmora. That's what I use.
Essential. I know you do, because I recognize that intro music. That was when my wife was doing her little show for a very short period. That was the intro she used. That was cool.
There you go.
So now, and where I've come to now is I've kind of found the need that really needs to be filled, and that is that in the indie author sphere and indie creators, whether it's comics or books or music or indie games, things like that, what's missing is a synergy between the bigger YouTuber voices and even conservative voices that say we need more conservative artists and entertainment makers and things like that. But when they say that complaint, but when it comes to actually elevating, independent talent to their bigger audience, there's no synergy there. And arguably, yes, you cannot tell them what to put on their channel. And, griping is just going to make you look like a crybaby. So I opted to take my channel for what little it's worth. And it grows up a little bit by every day. And I appreciate and thank everybody who has subbed to me, bothers to show up and watch and chat with me, and start using it, not just to talk about the things that I want to talk about, but to make it a platform available to independent creators that they can use as well. To this end, next week, I'm going to start 2 new live stream shows that are going to be essential to the channel. The first one is going to be called The Signal Boost, and that is going to be me and an independent creator that I pick, and they're going to come on, and they're going to bring, whatever they're working on, whether it's their book that just dropped, it's their comic book Indiegogo or Kickstarter that they're trying to get funded. I like that. Let them talk about it, and try let the people try and get in on it, and give them a place where they can just sit and present what they've got to the people that follow me as well. Next Monday at about 6 p.m. I'm going to have Mike Murphy on the first episode of the Signal Boost, and Mike Murphy has a Indiegogo call for a high adventure pulp fantasy novel called Long Shadow. And this caught my attention a while back because it's got an orc on the cover, and orcs are my favorite fantasy race, right? Mm-hmm. And I finally had the chance to go ahead and back it today. And I'll have him on. That'll be the last day of his campaign. So if anybody's looking for a independent creator project to back, on Monday you'll have the chance to help push it up a little further across the line. And then on Tuesday, the second live stream that I'm going to be starting is going to be one that's specifically for independent authors. It's called the Authors Outpost. And my first guest is going to be a very special one. My first guest is going to be Blaine Lee Pardoe, who of Battletech fame. This man wrote Battletech novels in their universe. He's one of the most influential, he's arguably the most influential voice in that universe for decades.
Awesome.
And then if you saw his interview with Razorfist not too long ago, which is where I learned about him, cancel culture tried to come for him, and he got unceremoniously exited from that company and the position he was in as one of their head novelists. But he's determined to not let this beat him down. He is going to cancel culture. He's got a new book that's going to drop on Tuesday called Splashdown, going right back to the roots of military sci-fi and big stompy robots. And I'm in the middle of reading it. I'll have a review ready for when that drops, and it's going to be fantastic.
Awesome. That's awesome, dude. No, listen, again, it's why I love the YouTube community. We have like this little group that we've formed and we're part of, because I mean, there's a lot of these people that I would have never known, never met until I got into this sphere. And it's been such a blessing in so many ways to know people like you, Abomination AJ, and and I kind of was the same thing where it was Geeks and Gamers, Nerdrotic, that group where they kind of inspired me to get into this thing. And same thing, I've heard you hear people say, just grab a mic, record something, get it on tape, and I started doing it. And then here we are, 2 shows a week. I got these great panels. Even you, Meatball, I will include you in that.
That's some bullshit.
It is some bullshit, but
well, she is your daughter's favorite, so
that's true.
I question her judgment at this point now.
Yeah,
me too.
Put a shirt on. Put the shirt on.
I boosted up my buddies. For myself, anyone interested in what I'm working on, I have I have my debut. Now I have one. I can't say it's my book because it's not. Linked up with another author named Ryan Williamson, who wrote a wonderful weird Western novel called The Widow's Son. And he got together me and 20 other authors for an anthology of Weird West novel, short stories set in his universe. And awesome. I have a current short story published in that book. It's called A Fistful of Demons. But my debut fantasy novel, of which I've written several novels, but they're better left on the editing floor where they belong. I have one that was so bad, even God himself brought a flood and killed my computer with it. I'm not even joking.
I remember that story. That's terrible.
My debut fantasy novel, I just got back from the editor, so there's still some work to do on it. It's going to come out this year. It's going to be called The Black Crown, and it is an epic fantasy adventure novel in the vein of Dragonlance and the good epic fantasy adventures and epic quests of old. Awesome. And because I like to make characters that are always just a little bit off kilter. I've got a half orc prince as the main character because, awesome. Or like I said, orcs are my favorite. Orcs are my favorite fantasy race, and half orcs by extension. I also like those, and that's just keep your eyes peeled if you want. Sub to my channel.
Yeah,
trust me. You can follow me on Twitter too. Trust me. When it drops, I won't be able to shut up about it. So there's no chance anyone will miss it. I'm going to try and make as much of a deal out of it. Lore drops on my channel, and bits of history, bits of character introductions, and eventually like a nice little trailer. Because I like editing videos. It's a lot of fun these days. A lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. And trying to make these things. If you go watch my book reviews, what I do is I read the blurb and I could try and present it in like a fun trailer, epic trailer kind of way. That's it's always fun because I like indie authors to, kind of feel like somebody out there is putting in a lot of effort for them and, giving them the kind of review that you would want for, I give them the kind of review I would want for my book. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Of course.
If the mainstream abandoned me and when I went and moved into the indie sphere, everybody's clamoring to get their stuff noticed. And why would I not be as big a fan of these indie projects as I was for, the stuff I used to, like Star Wars and Star Trek, things that you would go out of your way to watch and talk about with other fans. So it's great to connect with other indie authors and, say, hey, not only did I read and review your stuff, I'm a fan of it. When's the next one coming? Can't wait, bro.
Yeah. No, I think it's fantastic. And I love meeting people who have the ambition. It's tough, man. Right? I'm obviously not a writer, but from what I understand, even dealing with Copa and my own show, it's not easy. But God, man, what a satisfying feeling! And it must be to actually sit with something, get the idea on paper, and it's got to be pretty wild when you actually see it published out in the wild, out in the public, and you're going, "Wow, I did that." That's got to be. It's got to have. You must have a really good sense of accomplishment when you see something like that, especially when you're done with your actual own fantasy novel. You got to be proud of yourself with that. And I know there's a lot of worry that probably goes with that. Is it good enough? Is it going to be popular?
I was about to say it's very satisfying, but it's very scary at the same time because you're putting a part of yourself out there. You're putting your talent on display, and inevitably, somebody's going to find your work and they're not going to like it. And sometimes you can ignore like the 1-star reviews where somebody said, "Well, I didn't like that this one character butt chugged in the middle of the bar or something stupid like that." They find some dumb innocuous reason, or they come up with something that's so bad that you can tell they didn't actually read the book. Right. They got a little bit into it and then just decided to drop it. Somebody left Ryan Williamson a 1-star review that said it could have been epic. But you got to have thick skin when you're a creator because you're going to get critiques. The question is, where are you going? What part of those critiques are you going to, apply? There's a difference between knowing what is a good judgmental critique that you can apply for your future work. Because once it's out there, it's not like you can edit it all that much anyway.
Right.
And knowing, who's hating just for the hell of it and, who to just ignore.
Sure. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So, of course, when that does happen, we'll shout it out on this show, on my other show, and then of course love to have you back on when that comes out so we could talk about it and we can buy it and support you guys. And then also John Douglas's information for his YouTube channel and Twitter are in the description for this video, so if you want to subscribe to him, it's in there. You want to follow him on Twitter. He's puts out some good tweets on the socials. It's fun. We have a great time on Twitter, despite what people want to say about Twitter. It's been fun.
You're making me laugh.
I know. Oh God, I'm telling you, this guy. I wish he could get a real computer with internet that actually functioned for live streams because I would love to have him on.
The more I listen to World War Comedy, the more I could I could listen to this guy talk just damn near all day.
He had me on last night. He had something on last night and he just was going and going and going, and it was late at night. I was trying to get to sleep, and every time I was like, I'm going to turn it off now and say goodbye, I had to keep listening because I want to hear what he's going to say next. I just love him. He's interesting. He talks quick, but he's never boring. The guy is a hell of a freaking personality, man. So
I used to work in construction with foul mouths just like him, and I gotta tell you, it just brings me back to that. Like, I've known so many guys that sound just like him. It's hilarious.
So authentic. He's so authentic and real. That's what I love about the dude. Not afraid to put himself out there. He doesn't care. No filter. I love it. It's you're right. That's the real world, right? So. Yeah, so I'm glad we got to get a little intro into you, Mr. Douglas. Appreciate that. And then so this is kind of a good segue because Meatball had a good question. Mr. Meatball here is not a sci-fi fan, right? Speaking of sci-fi fantasy. But recently he shocked the hell out of me saying he was actually watching a sci-fi show on Amazon. The Peripheral, right?
Correct.
Okay. So after I almost nearly shat myself, after I was like, wow, Meatball's watching sci-fi? Because it's not his thing. So we were trying to figure what's a good introduction into the sci-fi. If you're a newbie into sci-fi, and Douglas, you'd be good at this. Like, what's a good intro for a show? Let's say you're watching TV shows.
Before we get to that, I want to say my level of newbie to sci-fi is
like real newbie.
Never watched a single minute of Star Wars. I've never watched Lord of the Rings. Like, just, and I read a lot. I've never read it. Just didn't interest me whatsoever. So, like, when I told him, I was like, I picked up this show not knowing that it was sci-fi, and then halfway through the first episode realized that it was sci-fi, and I was like, huh, I'm already hooked. I'm already in. Let's go for it. I'm on episode 6 now. So that's my level of newness.
Yeah, so we're talking about like a real fresh start. So I was trying to think about this, and it's hard, man, because it's like there's so many places you can go. Like somebody in the chat said Serenity, which I know of. There's a lot I haven't watched either. But John, what do you think, man? The sci-fi genre.
Well, I mean, arguably, and I know it's a bit of a normal answer, but it's a classic for a reason. Like Star Wars is probably like the easiest, most digestible science fiction that you can go into. Even though, you know, some people argue, oh, it's more science fantasy. It's a fantasy. What? That's you know, whatever. But it really is easier to get into, to understand. You know, it breaks down, you know, science fiction into easy terms. You know, it's very digestible. You know, it's accessible too. That's the ease.
Yeah,
I would not send somebody straight to Dune, which arguably is the greatest science fiction story and book ever written. But for a newbie, that's a big chunk. That's a chunky boy to try and get into at first. And Star Trek, you know, that's procedural science fiction too. Even though it's good, some of it's good, some of it's bad. Even in the good shows, they the good shows, they had some episodes that were like just, you can skip this one, it's a little cringy. That's probably a good starting point, you know, from there on out. Once you get past beginner level, there's a little bit more of a what parts of science fiction do you like to be had, like where else you can go. I mean, you know, I read Star Wars for years. That was kind of my start in science fiction, unless you want to count all the cartoons in the 80s. You know, there's plenty of science fiction there.
I will tell you that people have pushed me. They're like, you have to start at Star Wars. And then my question is, do I watch them in the order that they're released, or do I watch them in the order of the...
Yes. No, don't watch them in chronological order, because because there's continuity. There's things in the prequels that kind of break the continuity and just didn't match up with after the fact.
No, absolutely not. I hate anime, by the way. For the comment, I hate anime. I think it's a gateway drug into pedophilia.
Jesus.
Then I should be concerned because my kid just posted that she loves anime. So do I need to be?
She does. Yeah, you should.
Well, it's not, but to each their own.
Next, you're gonna see is she's gonna come back and be like, "Mom, you have to respect maps," and then that's when it's all downhill.
All right. Okay. Good to know.
Respect these nuts.
Oh boy.
Oh, we got R2 Icky at the house. So R2 Icky saying he's playing Fortnite with JT Gunn. I hope you're kicking his ass. I haven't played Fortnite in months.
I was gonna ask Mr. Douglas once he told me that he is a sci-fi writer, right?
I'm fantasy writer.
Fantasy.
My policy, fantasy writer.
I'm not opposed to sci-fi. You know, I just I'm actually more one of them writers and readers that's kind of like, if you go back far enough in time, there really wasn't a distinction between science fiction and fantasy. If we're talking, you're going back into the era of like the pulp novels of the 50s, 60s. A lot of it was all pretty much in the same vein. That's where you look at John Carter, one of the most seminal science fiction and fantasy stories ever told. I mean, that's about a guy who gets transported to Mars, and he's fighting with swords and laser guns and things like that. It was all melded together. The what is it? The genre distinction between sci-fi and fantasy kind of came about in the bookstores at some point, just to kind of put here's the technological stuff here, here's the Tolkien-esque stuff over here, and it's just kind of splintered more and more as time is going goes on. Honestly, it's all fantasy to me, but I get what you say.
Point.
So in your realm of fantasy, how hard is it for you to sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna come up with something original, right, and just start pounding the keyboard and come up with something that's not. Because there's if you go to the fantasy section at Barnes Noble, right, there is walls of it. How hard is it to be original and claim it as original? Because there's some people that are like, look, I took parts and pieces from different things and made it mine, right? But would you consider yourself that kind of a person, or are you considering yourself like, I made something original out of my brain and put it to not paper, but to keyboard?
Well, arguably nothing's really original. It's everybody's kind of these days, especially, is copying something. It's copying something that's already been done. There's very few that feel in the vein of, wow, this is original. I've never seen anything like this before, that you kind of had in the old days with Tolkien writing Lord of the Rings and Frank Herbert writing Dune. But the thing is, it's not hard for me, because the imagination that goes on up here, it never stops. Like ever since I was a kid, this is always churning, and that's kind of why I write. It's an outlet to get what goes on in here down on paper. And even if you're writing something that is derivative, and believe me, there's no shortage of that in fantasy. Even if you're writing something that's a little derivative, or it's a well-worn trend, there's a reason people are still buying it, even though a lot of these stories might still have a lot of the same tropes over and over again, for the same reason that there's people still watching anime, even though there's a lot of overused tropes in anime, because it's something that there are things about these tropes. Just because something's a trope doesn't mean people don't enjoy it, right? Just because you're picked up a fantasy novel, it's about a chosen one going to save the world with the power of friendship, doesn't mean there's somebody not looking at it going, that's right up my alley, I love it. There's two genres right now in indie fantasy, the indie sphere, that are really on fire. There are two genres. One of them is harem novels, which is about a guy being surrounded by beautiful women, and it's all cheesecake and corny action, but the readers love it, and the authors know what their readers want, and they deliver it unfailingly. And another one is the lit RPG genre, which is fantasy, but in the vein of Ready Player One. They're in a video. It's a regular guy thrown into the video game world, and he's got lives and game mechanics. And even though I don't understand the appeal of the genre, it is incredibly popular. If you look on Amazon and look up indie books, that's incredibly popular, because, and even though so many of them are doing almost the exact same thing. Oh no, yeah. I'm trapped in the video game world, and if I die here, I'll die in real life. We've seen it 1,000 times before, but it is a well-worn model that people like, and the authors know that. Yeah, they deliver it to them, and their fans eat it up. So there's a good bit of people like the genres for a reason. People are attracted to certain aspects of it, and I'm not immune to it myself.
I would say that I've read a couple of sci-fi adventure books, like the Ready Player One style books. I actually like Ready Player One.
Those are lit RPGs, which I think.
Okay.
I don't know why they're called that, but that's that one was arguably the biggest one.
Mm-hmm.
I was not a huge fan of it myself. It wasn't bad. It's just I was not a big fan of the parts of it that felt like a Wikipedia info dump. Of hey, remember this? Remember this cultural moment. There are times it feels like you're reading a Wikipedia article for something the author was interested in, and the sequel was dog shit. I'm sorry, it was that even worse.
I will say I liked Ready Player One, the book.
Yeah,
I read the book. I did not like. I couldn't finish the movie, and then I read Ender's Game.
The movie was bad,
and I was just like, I don't like it. And then exit stage left from the genre.
Oh, Ender's Game. Yeah, arguably that was a little more impactful back when it was released. I think it was in the 70s or 80s. I'm not exactly sure.
I could see that.
Sometimes you have to understand, like a book may be put forth as a classic, but the reason it was a classic, it was more popular at the time it might have been released, If you were to read the Dragonlance book that I throw in my head over there, Now you'll be like, well, this feels very much very basic, almost like a D&D campaign. Well, for War One, the author of that, Tracy Hickman, and his wife, Margaret Weiss, were helping design Dungeons and Dragons modules, and essentially they had just taken their campaign they had run and just novelized it. So, sorry, Mrs. Cannoli, I saw your comment. I know a couple in that vein that I could recommend too, but sometimes things are classics for a reason. They're classics back in the old days. Mrs. Cannoli, if you want something that's interesting, a murder mystery, I was actually just looking at one, reminiscing about one I watched not that long ago, called, I'm trying to remember now because I actually had the title mixed up.
I'm gonna write it down.
Cannoli Sasquatch, cover for me for a second. I'm gonna look it up.
Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Yeah, the murder mystery thriller.
I read
police
a lot.
procedures.
I read.
Scares the hell out of me.
Well, I was trying to do to see how many books I could read, and I know that this is always a topic of conversation, whether audiobooks are truly reading. And I do think that it does offer a different sort of, I don't know. I don't know. I still have to use my imagination. I still have to listen. I still have to use certain senses and all that stuff. But anyway, I had a goal to see how many books I could read last year, and I audiobooked 40 books, and I don't think that's terrible for somebody who works full time to be able to audiobook 40 books. But I did do the whole Jack Carr series, which wasn't murder mysteries, but it still was exciting in different ways. But I don't know. I can't do romance novels that a lot of the women, like Colleen Hoover is a huge author for that type of books, and I can't get into it. If there's no dead body or torture of some sort, I'm out. I can't do it. I don't know. It doesn't interest me. I know that sounds terrible, but
that's encouraging.
I do. Listen, I just read about it. They always get caught, so I'm not going to do it. So
you're right about that. Real world, you are right, and so is Copa. Fahrenheit 451 did introduce a lot of stuff that came true.
I think I read that too. I did read that.
Yeah, the technology that they talked about in them. Well, everything that's in that book is happening now, so it's very scary.
Was that the movie about burning books and Big Brother?
Well, there's a few. There was 1984.
Maybe that's the one I read.
The overbearing.
That's the classic that everyone. That's one that everybody references.
Then that might have been the one I read.
Fahrenheit 451's in that same vein. It's scary if you read both of those books. Everything.
What?
I legit thought Fahrenheit 451 was Backdraft, and then I had to be corrected.
You're so stupid. He thought it was Backdraft, the movie Fahrenheit.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Good movie though.
The fear of Fahrenheit 451 was that if enough books were burned, that information about history would be lost. Something in that vein. But the advent of the internet's made that that reality impossible. Thankfully, unfortunately, it's just closer toward 1984.
I don't know if that's true because have you seen what Twitter can do?
What do you mean? As far as
is that your tiny human? Is that your little tiny human there?
It is. She's supposed to be occupied, but she is not occupied. So
that's all right. I don't mind.
We all have families here.
Tiny humans and puppy dogs, they're fine.
That's what she is right now, a tiny human with a puppy dog.
Yeah, but the puppy dog is bigger than your tiny human.
True story.
Yeah.
Mrs. Cannoli, I found it. It is called People of the Mist. There's Mist. Tor Books published these series of novels by Michael O'Neill Gear and his wife Kathleen Gear. They wrote a lot of novels about Native Americans in pre-colonized and prehistoric North America. What's cool about each book is a different story with different peoples and different locations. So there's no continuity. You can pick up literally any of these books, and not only are they a different story with different characters and everything, they're exceptionally well. They're very wonderful books. They're not fantasy. There's an allusion to possible supernatural powers at times, but it's never like there's no magic systems or anything to learn. But what's cool is each book can also be a different kind of book. And People of the Mist what I found out was a whodunit murder mystery
Okay,
about
that's
a young native girl who gets killed when she's supposed to be wed to some rebel tribe, and like everybody's got a motive to want her dead. It was like,
okay.
I was like, I'm invested in this. This is amazing.
I will check it out. I'm on my third book of a series, and it's the final installment, so I'll have to do after I'm done with this current book. But I wrote it down, so thank you. I can always use a good recommendation. So.
And Copa looks like thank you, John. That was awesome because it'll keep her busy for a while. No, Copa's also got a recommendation for you in the chat there, Mrs.
I'm looking at that. I'm going to do not listen to the audiobook. Well, shit. That's the only way I can get stuff done.
No. Do what normal people do and read the book.
I have to take care of your stupid ass. I don't have any extra time. We have to have a podcast. I have to run a house.
True. She does help me produce my shows, so I do appreciate that. But anyway,
we do have a kid that has to be fed and clothed, and I have laundry. But
they'll figure it out on their own.
Listen,
thank you.
If I'm going to read a physical copy of a book, the first one I'm going to read is Copa's book. So, let's just say if I'm going to pick up a book in hand, it's going to be Copa's first.
And then the second one is going to be John Douglas's book.
Right.
I'm interested now. I didn't know Copa had a book coming out. He probably mentioned it.
He has it. Yeah. Here, I'll plug it for the man because he has a novella called "Why Not Wichita."
I have actually seen that.
Great book.
I feel bad.
Are you done with that, Meatball? Did you finish it?
I did finish it.
All right. I gotta read it.
I want to have a debate with Copa at some point about the ending of it because I want to punch him in the side of the head.
Oh, maybe maybe I'll read it real quick and then we can all be on another podcast.
It's only 95 pages. I would love to review it because it's such a good intro into that sci-fi. There's a lot of little things you can pick from actual movies where he gets some of his inspiration, and he talks about the beginning of the book, why he wrote this female character the way he did. So this is my point. This is why I love this community. Meeting these people like Mr. Douglas here, like Copa, and then interacting with them and then hearing their passions and starting from somewhere. These creators who I hope make it big someday. Hope you're all rich and successful. Don't forget about me when that happens, by the way.
I will offer the Authors Outpost live stream as a neutral ground for Filipino Meatball and Copa Catania to have this discussion.
There you go.
Look, I can land a hit. I don't know if you're faster than 1250 feet per second, but we can work it out, Copa.
Yeah, he's a good he's talking game. He's talking mad game.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I legitimately read it over 4 days at work.
It's a quick read,
breaks, right? Like it's a quick read, and it's very engaging, right?
Oh yeah,
it's just great. Like I was anticipating the ending to go a certain way,
and it didn't.
It didn't go that way.
It does leave you wanting more, though.
Right? Exactly. At the end, you're just like, "It's it." Where's the sequel? Like, let me buy the sequel, and then there's no sequel, and you're just like,
it's coming out this year. So between him and Douglas's, but we got a lot of stuff I got to read, and then of course, obviously, the new Jack Carr books coming out with the there's sequel to the Terminal. It's got a lot of stuff to read this year. But Wookie B. Bed said he's not wearing pants, so he must be having a really good damn time.
I'm gonna say this to Copa: I'm not reading your second one until there's a third one. Because the way that you ended the first one, I can't just stop at one, right? So, if you're going to put two out, you need three
valid.
So I can read it.
That's valid.
Okay. That makes sense. You want to jump right into it.
Authors out there
and he should take it as a compliment because it was a great read.
I get what John's saying, though, his point. You were saying this, so there's fantasy writers.
There's a couple of fantasy authors out there that got this problem. The most famous of which is George R.R. Martin has infamously finished a Game of Thrones. The last book was 12 years ago, and he's literally written anything but that book. But also in that sphere, and I have not read it, Patrick Rothfuss has apparently written a really, really good first two parts of his trilogy, and it's been almost as long since for the third book to come out. And some people are wondering if he just realizes he doesn't know how to end the story or what.
Yeah. So let me ask you about that. So George R.R. Martin, especially. So we know all the success from Game of Thrones.
Oh, I've got thoughts.
Yeah, but like what makes an author? So obviously, he's got status, he's got money. Is it become an ego? What makes a writer that popular with that much in demand wait 12 years to write his next book? What is it? Now, yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I'll let you go.
Well, first off, one is his age. He's 75. He's not
That's
a spring chicken anymore.
That's a good point.
And two, the success of Game of Thrones, I think. I read the first 2 Game of Thrones books several years before the show was even a thing. When I heard there was a show coming out, I was like, I went that back when I still had some faith in Hollywood. And unfortunately, they knocked that out of the park. Even my wife, who does not like fantasy stuff, I made her sit down and watch this. By the end of the first season, she was invested. Now, granted, she only cared about the dragons.
I can't.
But
I made it through 2 episodes, and I was like ready to suck.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. It's not even a traditional fantasy. It's very much more grounded in the politics of all that. But anyway, he's not hungry no more. He's 75. He's got to be tired. He's old.
Yeah. That's true.
And the things that are keeping him, he's not hungry for it because he's already found his success. He made it, but he made it at a point in his life where there's not really much of an impetus for him to actually finish it. And I think when the series ended the way it did, which was very, very disappointing, and it was disappointing for a lot of people, myself included. I was having that same vibe in my chest that I had when I was watching the Star Wars sequels. Like, this feels wrong. This feels off. Does not feel right. These are dumb creative decisions. And then, of course, a lot of the part of that was because the show went past the point of the books where they didn't have his dialogue. They just had his cliff notes. So what happened? They had to make it all up on their own. They had to do the story, and you get things like characters forgetting that they have actual threats to worry about. People teleporting across an entire continent in less than a day or two's time. It's got a little ridiculous. I think he also saw the reception to the end of Game of Thrones and thought, well, shit. Not only, if that's the ending that he sticks to, people are just going to be just as disappointed if he finishes it in 2 books, which I personally do not believe he can do. Even if we get Winds of Winter, we'll never see A Dream of Spring, which is supposed to be the final book. But I personally don't think he's going to finish it on principle, because knowing how he writes, how much density he writes with, and where he left off the story with, I don't think he could do it in 2 books. I think he would need at least 4 books to wrap up everything in a satisfying and compelling way. And I just don't think he's got it in him. I don't think he plans to finish the series. He's probably just and he's demonstrated that he's not interested in getting his book stories finished. Maybe there's a part of him that saw what happened with Robert Jordan. Robert Jordan infamously passed away before he could finish A Wheel of Time. Thankfully, he made arrangements. Brandon Sanderson finished the last novels of that, and Sanderson was an author who, fortunately, was not just a gigantic fan who wanted to be as faithful to that as possible, but he was a writer of almost equal caliber to Robert Jordan to be able to finish those books. And the Wheel of Time fans got the ending. Unfortunately, it wasn't the author writing the ending, but they got the ending the author wanted and the way the author wanted to tell it by a guy who respected the fans, the author, and the work. So that's a win for Robert Jordan. And I don't think anyone's going to be able to do that. I think he's put it in George R. R. Martin's put it in his will that nobody can finish the books. And I personally just think he's just going to leave it. I think he's just going to leave it unfinished.
I like Copa's.
No, hold on. I have let me tell you about this. He said he had 500 pages left. Okay, first of all, that's not how writing works. If you ask any author, how many pages is your book going to be? The story's done when it's done. You don't plan it out by pages. So that right there, that's a bit of insider. That's an inside joke between writers. Anybody who writes stories to completion knows that him saying that is a load, a big fat steaming load.
Let me ask. Yeah, I know that you just said you write to completion. Do you come out with like, okay, this is what the story's going to look like first, and then fill everything in, or you just start going and what comes, and then you edit back from there?
Let me answer my wife real quick, and I'll get back to you.
I like Copa's. Copa's comment is funny though because he basically is saying, yeah, he said the book was 500 pages. He said that he had 500 pages left, and basically he's telling people his book is. So he hasn't really started. That's the whole joke. It's kind of funny actually. Hey, Tim Tringle Jr.
Do you know what's a
Thanks for
joke?
joining the stream.
You're a joke.
I am a joke. I'm your joke, baby. That beard ain't no joke, though. That's sexiness
can we turn
right there.
It sideways? Can you turn it sideways?
I mean, look, it's white.
It's coming in.
It's coming thick, though.
Hey, Tim.
What's
that? What's that green thing behind you?
The thing above the green thing?
Yeah.
It's a glove.
What glove is it?
I don't know.
Oh, the Miggy one.
Did your wife notice the grail before you?
Yeah, that's a beautiful.
I may not have good hearing, but I can see well. Oh, excuse me, sir, ma'am. Come here,
sir, ma'am.
Greg,
no, my puppy dog. I don't know why I said sir.
You call me ma'am?
No, yeah, that's talking to the dog.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? He could write lore for a freaking video game that's really popular, but he can't finish his own books.
Wait,
I wish I could write something.
Also,
yeah.
Tim, I mean Meatball.
Yes.
Did somebody try to steal you onto a podcast or something?
I did.
What happened? Tell me. What's going on?
I have a friend that has their own YouTube channel. And that was the same channel that I did like a guest spot on to talk about a football game, right? Because
sports, yeah.
Okay.
Straight sports. But then he has a like media everything, kind of like this podcast on Fridays.
Okay.
And he was trying to get me to come onto the panel because it's him and another person that host it, and he wanted me to be the third. And
on a Friday?
Like, on Fridays, the same time as this one.
Ooh. And I see your loyalty lies here.
Oh no, it just starts next week.
Oh, okay. So this is your last podcast then with us?
We'll see.
You will break my daughter's heart.
I mean, what is she, like 12? Is that normal for 12-year-olds?
She's 14, so she's used to, like heartache and stuff, but whatever. If you want to break her heart, that's on you.
Look, I had 3 demands to be on this show, and only one of the demands were met. Your daughter put her shirt on. That was demand 1.
What were the other 2? What were the other 2?
I needed a personal sponsorship from Truly's.
Yeah, well, that's in the works.
And then I wanted to be able to swear in the first 30 seconds, and I got shot down.
You can. It's the first 8 seconds. So after 8 seconds, you can
swear.
Well,
I go 30 just because I don't trust YouTube these days.
He doesn't trust me. He told me 30 because he's like.
I mean, honestly,
okay. Listen, Meatball, I promise I'll get you a merch shirt if you just stay.
I promise. We'll think about it. Nate,
we'll think about it. Who, you and your team?
Hold on. I told my friend that has his podcast.
What is the podcast about?
So he has 3 different shows. His Tuesday show is about football and sports in general, but right now it's about football because of the football season. His Friday show is about everything, right? Like us. Pop culture, like us, right? Okay. Whatever happens to be popular right then. And then he has a late night show on Sundays that's like a mock relationship advice show.
Ooh, well, you'd be perfect for that. So I just figured it out. You can stay with us on Friday and do his on Sundays. Perfect. Great. Next topic. Let's go.
So the thing I told him was like, well, of course I want to be on the right rocket ship to the moon because he just started his right about the same time the Cannoli started his. So
does he have merch? Does he have merch?
He does. And I have a shirt.
Shit. Damn
and it's dry fit. And it's dry fit.
I can't. All right. You know what?
The problem is he sent me a medium, and I was like, "The fuck do you think I wear a medium?"
A medium?
Yeah, was it you of all people?
Wear a medium.
Right? I'm like, "The fuck is wrong with you thinking I wear?"
So is the tiny human wearing it instead?
Oh no, it fits the dog.
I was gonna say
your dog is big.
Is this
hold on.
Medium?
Hold on. Left Eye Ego says he offers himself as a streaming tribute in Meatball's absence.
I subscribed to Left Eye Ego after I watched him interview you, like straight up, and I was like, "Oh, this is entertaining." instant subscribe. So I'm subscribed to you, Left Eye.
Left
And I
Eye's
have
awesome,
notification bell on.
Well, Cannoli's going to be on Wednesday for another show with Left Eye. They're talking that football thing.
Oh,
they're talking the football.
Sick invite, guys.
Well, Meatball, I would be very, very sad if you were to exit this podcast, and my daughter, you'll leave her heartbroken. So you just sit with that, and we'll see how that goes.
The thing I told my other friend was
Yes.
that I asked him how many subscribers he had versus Cannoli's, right?
Okay.
And
okay.
he was trailing Cannoli by 3.
Shit.
Ooh.
So I was all like,
Well, what if you split your time every other Friday?
I mean, we can work. Look, I'm an exclusive talent. I want to be exclusive. I want to be wined and dined.
You know what? Hold on a second. This is funny coming from somebody who didn't even want to do this and might be on if he could. And look at you now. You're a rising star.
Do you know what the other person said?
What?
You're a talent that you didn't even know that you were, and that you're wasting away on that other podcast. And I was like, dang.
Has he watched our? Wait a minute. Has he watched our podcast?
He's a subscriber because he wants to see what your podcast is about.
Not really sure. I'm liking this kind of conversation.
Well, that's basically how YouTube is. There's always going to be competition.
I try to do the exact same thing with Vex. I don't even hate the game. I was trying to steal Vex and come over here.
Well, here's the thing. I do understand you are a hot commodity now. I think it's because of the beard.
It's a sexy
I think everybody
beard,
wants the beard. So
I would be. Copa said I should have them talk to my agent.
Yes.
Yeah.
We should have a poll. Who should be my representative agent in the
the agent. Yeah.
I think I vote for the tiny human.
We'd end up with a bunch of fruit snacks and strawberry milk.
What's the problem? What's the problem?
For her, nothing. For me, I'd be like,
come on. You like strawberry milk.
I didn't even get a shirt that fit.
I know. I mean, come on. Well, I don't know. Listen, I can't argue with that. You have a medium shirt. We haven't even sent you a shirt. How about this?
I try to give Gregory money for the merch, and then eventually I'm just gonna have to order it off the website.
No, I listen.
I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna order it on the website just to be that guy, and then forever I will be the guy that was on his show that had to order his own shirt for the show.
Listen. I will text me your address, and I will have it sent directly to you because you live so far from us. Just remember
I drove to Whiskey's house for him.
I know you did.
Yeah,
that was
true.
very sweet. That was very sweet. I drive there too, but I live 5 minutes away.
You guys made the joke that I had to bring a pack of lunch. I legitimately had to pack snacks.
Wait a minute, though. In all fairness, were you going to the office?
No.
Hold on.
No,
you made a special trip?
Right?
I made a special trip.
Oh, you are such a sweet guy. All right. Well, I take back everything I ever said about you.
Samantha, I also went to lunch at a place that I never go to, and I was very happy about that. And then I met my sister at
Did you go to Peter Piper Pizza?
No, we went to that Enchanted Island by Encanto.
The hell's that?
You mean that little adventure park place?
Yes.
Yes, I took the kid there years ago. Yes.
She had passes that expired, and so we had to go before the end of the year. So it was all part of that one day.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So if I get you a shirt, what is the percentage that you would stay?
I mean, I'm a hooker. You could buy me off pretty cheap.
I'm trying here. Do I need to send you Truly's?
I feel like Truly sponsorship. That's all I have.
Truly sponsorship. I got to get that myself. Never mind you.
I've been drinking Truly's how many weeks on this friggin' thing, and they're not reaching out to me.
True.
If we ever have a simulcast with World War Comedy, we'll just have to be, all of us will have to be shirtless, right?
Easily, because that's what he does.
Do we want to start now?
And he's probably the only one of us that can actually pull it off convincingly.
Yeah, I don't. He's the one working out the. I I won't want. Yeah, he I think it's 90% of his shows are all shirtless in his videos. I think he did have clothes on yesterday though, which was kind of disappointing.
So for Wookiee, I am so sorry. My whatever, I usually wear headphones and it with the mic like Mr. Cannoli does. And
Sounds like he's in a bathroom.
I don't know. You sound good to me. You sound good to me.
And Redbeard said it sounded good, so I don't know. Plus, the wife bought me a microphone for Christmas, like as a
I remember that, and they never work.
And then Cannoli's over here like, I'm gonna fix this. That never happened. I guess if my headphones work, you don't care about me anymore. It's only when my headphones work.
See, Cannoli, you're never gonna get him to want to stay if you don't help him.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
see,
I help him. I fix his Bluetooth.
Stop watching the stream now.
Yeah,
Copa's on.
Copa's got his pants off.
I'm the exact opposite of everybody. Like when I go to whether I go to record or I go on a live stream, it's like I'm going on a date. I go groom. I shaved before I come on here. Put some deodorant on.
I put a full fit. I put makeup on just for this. I didn't have makeup on all day. I brushed my hair and I do the same thing. I didn't.
I flossed.
I don't need to put,
mouthwash.
Yeah,
it's like going on a date. Like you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. You come on here,
agree.
You're looking like a dog.
I'm right there with you. Like I didn't feel like I needed to doll it up to run my errands today, but when I podcast, I put the face paint on because it's only I don't want to scare the audience.
I'm wearing and I'm wearing pants too.
I am too.
Going on a live stream with no pants on is like going to Walmart wearing your pajama bottoms. Okay, it's just tacky.
I've done that though. I put a bra on, but I think I've worn pajama bottoms before. I'm not gonna lie.
So if I say that I am not wearing pants right now,
then I definitely want you to stay. Definitely want you to stay on the podcast.
Copa would be excited about that. He would like that.
I mean,
it's the way.
I have to.
Well, if he ever puts book 2 and 3 together.
Yeah, I like how Wookiee be bad. It's like after 6 drinks, I never care how I look. Most people don't at that point.
I'm sitting on a cold fold-up chair, so I need to wear pants or my hiney will freeze.
I just want to know, when is White Bear going to eventually replace me on this podcast?
Dude, well, White Bear's on my Monday shows, though.
Yeah, he's eventually going to take over my spot here. I feel it.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he works on Fridays anyways.
I need you to stay. So whatever it takes. I told you I got a pedicure. I will start the foot OnlyFans if that's what it takes.
White Bear is going to January 6th, your position. Podcast
Insurrection. Yeah. Then we'll talk about it for the next year and talk about what a piece of crap White Bear. That would be kind of funny. Yeah, what is he? So you're saying it's a 6-string bear? I'm just reading through the comments here real quick. Copa is taking the dog outside. I'll relay any shit talking promptly at his return. Thank you. It wouldn't be Copa unless there was shit talking.
That's my
Weird World Comedy says he is that guy at Walmart. Of course he is.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah,
well, that's the thing. I don't go to Walmart, so I don't interact with those people.
Well, not all of us make $1 million a year and we need a good sale.
Look,
what do you mean those people?
I'm those people.
They're called felons, sexual assault registry people, and potential pedophiles, aka anime lovers. Sorry, man.
Could you do me a favor?
Wow.
Could you tell me what category I fall into? Because I was at Walmart at 8 a.m. this morning.
Bomb squad trying to defuse some landmines around the area. That's what I'm.
Perfect. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll tell you.
You're not the people of Walmart. You're the person that walks around the people of Walmart.
There you go. Hey, listen, just trying to get my kids some snacks. That's all.
Like when you're a parent, there's some great deals there. There's some just great deals there, right?
That's why I have to go there. It's expensive when your tiny human starts eating like a teenage boy, even though she's a girl.
Well, they can take
it.
It's
you had
expensive.
asked me a question a little earlier before I had to jump off real quick. What was it you asked me again? I didn't answer that, and it'll bother me all night long if I don't give you an answer.
Was it about the
writing?
The
pages?
Writing, yeah. You were talking about your ideas.
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was reading Tyler Redbeard when I'm like, yes, I do shop at Target, and I'm proud of it. and Costco. Get out of my face. No, it was when you write your stories, right? Because I'm always fascinated with the artistic mind because I'm not artistic, right? And so like people that can make music or make a beat or sing a song at the top of their heads, or rappers, right? Like blow my mind. Or someone that can paint on a wall, or a writer, right? Just comes up with these beautiful stuff, right? And me over here can't draw pencil drawings to save my life or anything.
I can't draw either. Don't feel bad.
Like my form of artistry is MLB The Show hitting a 3-run bomb to walk that shit off. Like,
all video games, basically.
Right. But like when you go to write a story, do you have like it broken down to where like, okay, this is where I want to start, this is what I want to get into, and I'm gonna end it up here? Or do you just sit down and let it go, and what happens and edit back from there?
Well, there's a couple of there's two different kinds of writers in general. You got outliners and you got what's called pantsers. And outliners are people who put they from beginning to end, they outline what's going to happen in this chapter and this chapter and this chapter, and they kind of fill it in as they go along. Pantsers, which I'm kind of one of them, are they have the start and they have the end, and they kind of make it up as they go along. And I've done that. I write out a general synopsis of where the story is going to start, where it's going to end, how I get from the start to the end. And inevitably along the way, I end up thinking of something when I'm not writing and going, oh, this is a good idea. Let me put that in there, edit it in, and a little tidbit later. And the story that I end up with once I'm done is a lot more fleshed out than the one that I had when I started. But when you get done writing a story, a novel specifically, that's what's called your toilet draft, because that's where it belongs. Don't let any writer fool you into thinking that they are superior in that particular area, because no writer is anything without an editor. You're going to finish that toilet draft, and you're going to go through and edit it yourself once. Then you have a first draft. And then some people edit a little more than others, but you can over edit your work. At some point you've got to stop writing and editing and actually put the damn thing out there. I just got mine back from the editor, and so thankfully her notes were she generally enjoyed it. Here's some storyline streaming that she caught, and punctuation fixes, grammar fixes. I use a lot of passive voice. Apparently, I have to work on that. Getting to be good at writing is like any skill. It's something that just takes time and patience, and most importantly, especially if you're writing, reading in what you're writing at. I'm the same as you. Like, I admire people who have skills, creative skills that I don't have, like music. I don't have an ear for music. I don't have. I have dysgraphia, which is dyslexia's retarded little cousin. And basically what it means is I cannot draw straight lines. Literally, I am incapable of doing this. If you had a gun to my head, I would be dead. But and it makes my handwriting very, very sloppy. So by extension, anything I try and draw is going to look like dog shit. But for some reason, writing was just where it clicked. And I especially admire people who could do what we're doing right here. The live streaming, being able to get in front of a camera and talk to a live audience, and being able to, have your stream of conscious come through and speak. I wanted to do a YouTube channel like 10 years ago, but I was just so damn camera shy, and I just couldn't get over it. And I can't remember script lines, and I can't talk off the top of my head very well. I've gotten better at it though. So this thankfully is a skill that I've managed to cultivate over the last year, and by watching others, how they do it, and, watching y'all, how y'all do it, and, trying to piece together everything that I can. Creativity is a skill, and it's a skill that has to be cultivated over time, and with passion, because without passion, without heart, you really don't have anything going into it. I hope that answers your question.
That does. I like that. I like that you verified that there are two different kinds of styles of writers. And I'm like, I feel like it couldn't just be one. There can't just be one style.
No, yeah. There we go. Plotters and pantsers. some people are much more meticulous in it. Like they'll keep like a board, and it looked like the back, like behind Charlie in that one clip of him from Sunny in Philadelphia, where with the conspiracies, and they've got all the plot points and where the side characters are here and there. And I'm stupid. I keep it all up here and then forget about it later.
So then you said that you're a pantser.
A bit, yes.
I'm curious of what Copa would be. So let us know what that one is.
Yeah, Copa, put it in the chat. Oh, besides being besides having that sexy bald head, what kind of writer are you?
I mean, he would ride me all day if he just
Whoa. Let's not get crazy now, please. Yeah, I agree with John though. Like,
but she can watch if she wants to. That's okay.
I agree with John though. Like with the live streaming, it definitely takes a lot of practice. I had no idea what I was going to be like when I did live streams, but I am so much more comfortable on live streams than recorded videos, and that's obvious. You watch me on the stream, it comes off pretty naturally. You go watch any of my recorded videos, you could tell immediately it's a recorded video. I'm very robotic, formulaic. I'm not coming off as authentic. I'm just kind of deer in the headlights speaking into a camera. And I'm like John, I can't scripts. I just can't remember that. I tried writing down a script and following it. All I'm doing is looking down.
You can't remember what I tell you 5 minutes ago.
100%.
I mean, seriously, I don't mean to be like, he just can't.
But
that's part and parcel for being a married man, though.
That's true.
That is very true. It's very true.
Say something important, we would remember it.
Yeah.
Put up Copa's answer.
Oh, he's a plotter. He said
he is a plotter.
You plotted the ending of that book.
Well, he said. Wait, he had a comment back here.
I want you to know, I legitimately threw it across the room.
Here, he had this.
The end of the book, I threw it across the room.
Book 2, Winds of Whispers, late second quarter 2023. Book 3, so they're done. They just have to be kind of just have their release time.
He's doing the smart
thing.
Can
I get like an early release or something?
Give me a
Some writers do what's called an ARC, advanced reader copy, and but they usually give that to people who are reviewers.
I'll read the shit out of it.
Or beta readers.
Meatball book reviews coming shortly.
There you go. Another podcast idea.
I got to do a show with Copa.
Maybe I can do that with my friend on the Friday show on
the other Friday show, the one you're going to ditch me for.
Copa, it's going on my TBR pile, buddy.
Listen, it's a great book. I think it's fun, and I think the second book, this first one was 95 pages. If I'm not mistaken, Copa is the second book's going to be a little longer. I think about 112 pages, I think you said, or 120, something like that. And each one gets a little longer, but it's a quick read, and it's fantastic. What do you say? He writes here. He's got some writer info here. This is John Douglas speak right here. Writes page of outline before I fire off the first line, but I leave room to explore. So if my story wants to deviate from the plot, I can go with it and explore the idea. There you go.
That's how it is. And what a lot of people don't know if they're not in the creative space is especially with writing, sometimes your story is very much an organic thing, and as you are writing it, it may change in significant ways that you did not even think of, because you'll think of some great idea, like I mentioned earlier. There was this, and this isn't much of a spoiler I can give away. I was about halfway through writing The Black Crown. My main character is a half orc. When I came up with the idea of his sense of smell being keen enough that he can detect somebody in the room, and I'm like, that's interesting. But that not only led to me going back to try and add that particular aspect into the book later, but it also led to very significant changes later on in the plot that I did not initially plan for when I was writing down the major beats of the story. So, it's organic. It can change, especially for those of us who have like a really high imagination, and our story is churning in our head at all times. When I'm doing yard work or I'm at work and I'm just, my head's off in the clouds, usually it's on what's coming up in the future. I'm in my head like 3 or 4 books ahead of what I'm about to publish. And that's, believe it or not, normal for a lot of writers.
I
understand that.
I like it. Unlike Copa over here, who just leaves me hanging.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
You're the kind of reader that we like, though. They have that. That's in show business too. Leave them wanting more.
So I'm the kind of I am that guy that like I got into Alex Cross world of novels, right? When it was like 20 books deep into it, right? And then I was like, thank God, because then I can like follow along the entire path. I only watch TV shows, not only, but most of the TV shows I watch have to have at least 4 seasons. Because I'm not gonna watch anything live and then wait for the next week for it, right? Like I can't. I'm like, I would rather just wait until that whole season loads and then watch the whole season.
Or when your husband gets you involved in a show that ends up really sucking and then they cancel it and it doesn't come back.
Oh, dude, 1899 was the biggest disappointment.
I don't even know what that is.
It's
the Yellowstone.
I honest to God stopped not just because Netflix was bad, but even if you get involved in a show of theirs that's good and that you do like, I mean, unless it's Stranger Things or The Witcher, I mean, they drop most of their shows after a season or two.
A season,
some of them are lucky to get to 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's what they
get invested.
No, I agree with you. They do that a lot, and it's really frustrating. Now, 1899, I had high hopes for because I loved the show Dark. Same creators that came up with Dark. Dark was a great show. So it was like, okay. And then the way they played this show off is to, again, you figured time travel. You figure it was just a fantastic premise. And the Vex Electronica, I talked about this because she watched it first. And I finished shortly after. We finished shortly after. And she all she told me, she didn't spoil anything. She just reserved her commentary.
But she gave us a reservation that
she did. She did give. She said it. She like, did. And there's certain people that I will listen to their opinion. I don't have to always agree, but I do respect a lot of the people on here. So I'm like, okay, if she
said that, I knew we were done for. I knew.
Now she didn't spoil anything. She didn't say you wouldn't like this. She just said this is. She just said it didn't hit for her. That's all she said. It didn't hit for her. And I said, okay.
Yeah, but I knew once she said that it wasn't going to end well. I just had a feeling I didn't like the direction
so it has
this going.
It has a build up. It has 8 episodes where it should have been shrunken into 5 or 6. And they extended these story plot lines that were really unnecessary. And of course, there was some agenda shit thrown in there that was not in Dark that kind of threw plots for the sake of messaging, which is today's.
It was weird,
content, right?
Yeah,
and it just didn't make sense for the plot, but you knew why they were throwing it in, just enough, to appease a certain group of people, and the ending was so ridiculously stupid that sometimes when people go out, when the showrunners go out of their way to make things a little chaotic at the end of a show, or that surprise element, or that holy shit. It works sometimes. Sometimes it can work. This did not work. This did not work at all. It made no sense. It was stupid. And Herman the Hunter's Lore Forge. What's up, buddy? We're talking about
I feel like you
the show
personally.
I did. The show 1899 was a massive disappointment. But John's right. It's very rare now. Well, I will get into an actual show. Shows are tough time-wise for me. It's why movies, I've been watching a little more movies lately. Shows are tough. Series are tough because they take, like you said, Meatball, they take, most of them are not like Netflix where they take weekly, you have a weekly show. Now,
I'll say, like, there was a show that I used to watch. It was called 6. It was about Navy SEALs.
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
And so it's an adaptation of a blog, of real Navy SEALs blog. And
I remember that. It was really good. Yeah,
right. It was a really, really good show, and then they cut it off, like randomly, like just non-renewed it. Right, like for whatever reason they decided to non-renew it. But I remember I'm like, yo, they're on page like 8 of the blog of the
thank you, Herman,
300 plus pages of this blog, and then I was so emotionally invested. I was mad, right? Like, how could you take this away from me? This is why I don't start things from the beginning. I wait until they're done. I watched Sons of Anarchy 2 years after it completed.
But there's also cases in which a show goes on so long that it ends up becoming bad, and it's
like The Walking Dead,
like Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy was like 38 seasons.
I was all there for House. I'm sorry, I missed out on Grey's Anatomy.
House was a good show, though.
House was good. Show. What am I thinking?
The last
of? What
season
was the show that went on too
garbage.
Long? Nashville. My wife and I loved Nashville, and it got canceled, and it got picked up again by CMT. And the CMT seasons were woke as shit. I was like,
CMT of all places,
it became so damn woke, and me and my wife are just sitting there suffering through every episode. And every episode's a virtue signal. This group and that group, and the plot started to devolve where like it was they were recycling old things, and you were just getting tired of all their personal drama. There was a good show when it was focused on like the rivalry in the actual country music industry. Yeah. But then it just became like an overblown, primetime soap opera. And by the time it was over, I was like, man, this show should have ended with the original cancellation. Well, I regret that it came.
That's what someone told me. Someone recommended that show to me, Nashville to me. And they're like, but only go until the original cancellation. Watch that. Don't watch anything after it.
Well, before you continue, we do have breaking news. Hold on. Joker is not pregnant. He just wanted to elaborate for us. God, I mean, we had to break in for that. That's some very important news. Thank God. Okay. So it's
as a nurse, then Okay, so there's a couple different diagnoses we got going on here. My first thought is bowel impaction with that kind of stomach tension. Okay, caused by either poor diet or possibly an ileus, which is a twisted bowel. Unfortunately, when you get to this point, it's going to require medical intervention of the emergency room kind. Now, if you can try it yourself by chugging some magnesium citrate that is available over the counter. I have to put it in Minecraft. Do that in Minecraft. I have to put that disclaimer there because I can't obviously give medical advice over the YouTubes. But yeah, that's
just tell them to go to Taco Bell. It'll be fine.
Taco Bell also works.
Yeah, he says, "Hell, Mrs.
I don't know. Am I the only person in the world that eats Taco Bell and is just fine? Like I hear everybody complain they, go straight.
My wife does.
It used to be what it was used for, and then my body and I used to only eat it when that was a necessity to happen, and it just doesn't do what it used to.
Laxatives. We just eat Taco Bell.
I would say Taco Bell does not have the effect on me that people say it does, but Chipotle does for sure.
Oh my God. 100%. Speaking of which, I had Chipotle, which I don't normally eat the carbs anymore because we're doing the keto, but I decided to have it the Thursday before New Year's Eve. And I have what's called irritable bowel syndrome. And I almost had to go to the hospital. I was so sick from Chipotle. I literally thought there was an angry troll in my sides just going like this. There was awful. It was the worst, one of the worst attacks I've ever had.
The problem is I like Chipotle's food.
I love Chipotle.
Tastes good, really good, right?
Pretty good.
I love it.
You can get the salad and it's fantastic.
Well, I got the burrito, which I shouldn't have. I knew better.
To speak to Janet Catania's point, I told her if we get 25 likes, I was going to do ASMR, and she said, "Get to 30 so we don't have to hear it."
Where are you at? Because I haven't liked the podcast yet. So
I think we're only at like 17 or 18 right now. So, and by the way, Herman P. Hunter's the Lore Forge. Thank you for subbing, dude. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I want to say it's up higher, but when we were talking about 1899 and Vex said that she didn't like it. It's because it's not Red Dead 2. If it's not Red Dead 2, anything.
No, but you know what?
No, it was literally horse shit.
No, let's call a spade a spade. Vex.
By the way,
for Red Dead 2, and
she likes westerns. She likes westerns. Okay,
she likes Red Dead 2 and all westerns to be.
Most people like Red Dead 2, but yeah, and then we got, and then you got her simping for Red Dead 2, and you got Whiskey Banger jerking off to Witcher 3 all the time. So there's
over here with MLB The Show going, bro, did you see that?
Yeah, but you got the sports stuff. I'm kind of in the middle with everything. I have been playing
Red Dead was a problem for me because every time I played it had been so long since the last time I played it, I forgot what the buttons would do. And I in Red Dead 2, I would boot it up and I'd walk up to some hapless fool in the middle of town and I would push what I think, and I would push what I think is the interact button, and I just straight up draw down and blast that sucker in the face.
Shoot somebody.
And then I am running out of town. I've got sheriffs chasing me. It's a mess. But
then
it's such a damn
you've
good
got
game.
Cannoli that just likes to take luxury horseback or horse rides around.
I rode around on my horse a lot. I explored the areas a lot in Red Dead because unlike the first one, there was more area to explore.
Why don't you get the lawnmower simulator that Vex was talking about that one time? Just be like,
what's wrong with the?
I'm gonna do some landscaping on my.
Tim, don't listen, Tim. Don't worry. I'm not going to ruin Dark's ending for you. I will say though that. So Dark was supposed to be a 4-season series. Like to John's point here, Netflix said, no, you got to finish it in 3 because we want to get rid of the show. So they took 2 seasons worth of content into one 8-episode season.
And it was a little confusing because there was so many different aspects. It didn't end well, but it had so much potential.
This is why CMT is woke because it's owned by Paramount CBS. So
the head writer of Nashville, if I'm not mistaken, I forget what her name is. She's a Hollywood lesbian who also wrote she was a chick that wrote Thelma and Louise. And
okay.
Yeah, them first seasons were actually really good. And I think, but it started going woke at the same time that around 2015, 2016, when everything in Hollywood started getting super woke. So, it was a victim of the circumstance of the times going on. It just, the plots made no sense by the end.
What's funny too is that some people like Cannoli's parents or his dad, specifically,
the legend.
Cannoli and I will bail on a show like Westworld. The first season was amazing on HBO.
Fantastic.
God tier.
And you want to talk about a show going full woke in a completely different direction. Now, my father-in-law. Go ahead.
I was going to say, we know why they changed. Now, I think it was because Jonathan Nolan. He stopped. He pulled away to do something else, and he let his wife kind of run things. And then the first season of that show was one of the best seasons of TV, period. It was so good.
Yeah.
And I was so hyped for season 2 of Westworld. And I'm sat there and I'm like, okay, this is not as good. And
then, how many shows have we now I'm thinking we used to watch Preacher. We watched Legion. There was all these really great shows. But we never. There's so many
Legion
shows
okay.
we never finished.
It's just weird. But I give up.
I mean, to be fair, I did the same thing with Manifest. I watched the first season of Manifest.
My in-laws love that show.
Right,
it's still going. Jen is talking about it here.
Second season, I couldn't. I got like 4 episodes in, and I'm like, I'm literally forcing myself to watch this because it's not as good as season 1.
You know what? That's how I got with Lost. Lost got really weird after season 1, and so many people loved it. But when the way season 1 ended, it was so dumb. I'm like, but people will hang there for the benefit of the doubt. I bounce. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I bounced after the season House of Cards. I watched season 1 and season 2.
House of Cards, yes.
First season was good.
Hold on. After season 2.
Well, hold on. This feels obligatory. Everybody's got to answer. Where did you stop watching The Walking Dead?
They didn't watch it. I watched it.
I watched a single episode.
Hold on, no, I stopped.
I'm waiting for the series to be over, and then I'm gonna binge the whole series like I did.
It is over. It's finally over.
It's
after
over.
30
Yeah,
years.
it's finally over.
I plan on binging it.
I stopped watching this. Regrettably, I kept going until what was the season where
the garbage people? I'm just kidding. That's all I know.
Oh my god,
that was about the time.
The guy, what's his name with the bat? Lucille, whatever the
Negan.
fuck his name was. Negan. Yeah,
Negan.
When he started killing everybody off in that one episode. I think it was to start season. I forgot what season.
That's the only. You know what's funny? That's the only
opener. Yeah,
that's the only
season
episode
opener
I ever watched. Is where he. I
only went like a few episodes after that, and I was like, I'm done. I just can't. Not that I don't know.
It's kind of ironic because it's kind of, for me, it was kind of everything felt like it was building up to that, and the arrival of the most iconic villain in the comics was probably the point where it actually jumped the shark. Not because of what he did, but just after that. It started to get to that point where you're watching something and the flaws are getting hard to ignore, and the things that are negative about a show start to stick out a little more than the things that were good. And like by the time we reached that point, it was very samey. But you were you're in the start. You're very invested in these characters.
I didn't even know it was a comic book. I did not even know it was a comic book. I had no idea.
Comic book is even more graphic and brutal and grim,
Interesting.
Much worse
than the TV show. Especially if you're a mother, do not read those comics unless you've got a strong constitution. Because that was my introduction. Cannoli's probably thinking of the same scene I'm thinking of with Lori.
Oh God!
And where that was how I found out about The Walking Dead, because that was sent shockwaves through the the comic book world at the time when the comic book world was still worth investing in. But Cannoli, I'm going to have to jump off at this point.
All right, buddy.
Bro, it has been fantastic to come on. I hope I can come on again in the future.
Yeah, of course, buddy.
And annoy everybody, especially Filipino meatwad and Mrs. Cannoli. And where's everybody? Why is everybody else gone for this episode? I wonder. Did I scare them off, or
no?
Because I'm replacing like 3 other people, and I'm like, well,
no, you're good.
Make a clip. Whiskey Banger was a bitch, and that's why.
Whiskey Bagger couldn't make it. But John, before you go, tell everybody where we could find you, and all your socials and everything. Go ahead.
You can find me on most social media platforms as John A. Douglas. On Twitter, I am at John A. Douglas with a 0 because I'm on like my 3rd account now. I'm on several different social media platforms with middling success. I'm on Truth. I'm on Getter, which is pretty much dead at this point. I'm on Minds, which I especially like Minds. They're not a bad little social media platform. If you just invest in a little bit more, some other things, they could be a real competitor, but I like them. I am on Facebook under my real actual name, my birth given name. John A. Douglas is my pen name. But I got to get a page going up for Facebook for my pen name and my books at some point in the future. Facebook's just almost damn near dead anyway. I am on Instagram, but that's also useless. Like 60% of my followers are all e-thoughts that send me requests to try and get me to send them money. And and I'm not on TikTok or anything like that.
Thank God.
I am on Discord if people have Discord servers, but I pop in very seldomly. Twitter is where I mainly dwell on the internet, and you can usually find me there most days, trying to antagonize people and firing off tweets that get a lot of notice, usually with the wrong end of the Twitter crowds. I like to make a little noise, and usually unintentionally. But it was wonderful to come on and talk to you guys.
Of course, buddy.
And, anytime you need an extra to kind of fill in, just send me a DM, and I'll see if I can drop on in.
Sure. Appreciate you, John. Thanks very much, buddy.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, buddy. That was the Mr. John Doug. Vex, what did you say to Vex that got her? She said something about you could quote Mean Girls on the fly, so shush. What did you say to her?
I told her about the fucking Red Dead bullshit. Like, if it's not Red Dead, she's not interested.
And if it's not Lindsay Lohan, you're not interested.
I'm bringing Fetch back. Fetch is happening.
I like it. Fetch is good. Fetch is good. I cannot watch a part of Mean Girls without thinking about you.
Yeah, you got a good point, Copa, that J.J. Abrams bullshit.
Look, I watched Bad Robot. Great premise, horrible execution. Horrendous execution.
Wookie Be Bad. I stopped 4 episodes. Yeah, there's a lot of TV shows. Oh, look, I just missed the chat here. Facts, Mrs. Cannoli. Vex said, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I know.
Oh, we were talking about 1899 and stuff.
Oh yeah,
I think
I never got the hype for Lost.
You mean the anti-Red Dead?
Oh, maybe that was it.
Westworld season 1 was some of the best TV ever made, and it was great. It just a dumpster fire.
What is Westworld about?
It's like it's kind of like it's a fantasy western with robots. Yeah, exactly. You lost it. It was great though. Yeah, they butchered Negan in the show.
I bet you Vex would be like, "Oh, if we put a little bit more Red Dead into it, totally into it."
I never watched any of what's it called, Greg? I'm sorry, Cannoli, The Walking Dead. But I did watch the one episode for some reason of the Chinese guy getting the shit handed to him.
Yeah, it jumped the shark after that. Negan, he's right, Herman. Yep, you're right there. Negan was just the governor on Start Nothing. It was nothing new. It was just they ruined him. I jumped the shark after that episode, just about there. Walking Dead is running from zombies. So many shows
start off so strong, and they just
this is true,
Copa.
It's a lot, Copa. This is a lot of truth. This is rinse and repeat TV. That's why I got very bored with all of it, and that's why I have a problem with some TV shows. It's just the same shit. I don't like zombie genre in general. Those are not zombies. Those are ghouls. You're right.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that stuff either. I never got into any.
I do hear that
I never watched Lord of the Rings either. So I'm not Lord of the Rings. What was the other one, Greg?
Daddy Gone
You
Bad.
watched Lord of the Rings. You watched Lord of the Rings.
No. What was the one that you watched?
I was watching before we came on here.
House of Dragons.
Oh, the Game of Thrones.
Oh, right. I never watched an episode.
Oh,
Jacob,
look, Jacob Byron.
It's horrible. I watched 3 episodes.
I know because I said hello to him
first. Look at the poor John said he was hanging. Listen, we only talk trash about you to your face, John. Thank you for coming on, though, dude. That was really awesome.
If I call him get some insight. Now, will he come back?
Wow, he'll come back. He could take. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. No, I love the insight of the knowledge of the book writing stuff. That was great. How come Meatball doesn't have a Twitter? I don't know. Do you have a Twitter?
Wookie be bad. I have a Twitter. It is turned off 99% of the time, and Greg knows the only week that it is on the entire year.
For the draft.
Oh, for the baseball trade. The
baseball winter
meetings
and trade deadline are the only times that my Twitter is on, because all I'm subscribed to is the baseball.
Oh, so it did get greenlit for 2 seasons. So they're done with their lawsuits.
I saw that today.
It got greenlit. I never watched season 1. I don't know if I will, but hey. All right.
Again,
Copa, love you, bro.
But I have to.
Yeah.
Copa, are you going to fill my spot? Or going to be White Bear? Those are two choices. I mean,
thanks,
Beck could fill the spot, but then all we talk about is Red Dead the whole time. Red Dead and
Witcher and Canada, eh?
Listen, I could have thrown in Beverly Hills 90210 to really, shitty up the chat.
People know about that show, though. People know about that show.
No, they don't. No, they don't. You think people in your chat watch that show?
Thank you, Mrs. and Mr. Catania. I will see you, Copa, on Monday, buddy.
Jana.
I appreciate you, dude.
I'll be in there to watch that and destroy the comment section like I always do.
You should. Weird World, fix your freaking first of all, buy a laptop. You don't have to buy an expensive one. Get StreamYards, and then I can have you on the show. God damn it, Weird World. Well, that guy would get views because he is insane, and I love him.
Yeah, because he'll have his nipples out.
Good. We need nipples.
That's why I subscribed, specifically because of Copa's nipples.
Well, I don't know.
On the show, I didn't even subscribe until Copa's nipples.
See, Joker knows what's up. Joker knows what's up.
I knew I loved Joker voice. That was probably my most favorite show ever in this entire world of my whole life.
Wookie Be Bad was in see? He's in middle school.
Yeah, I was in middle school too. It got me through some really tough times.
The internet does need more nipples.
You know what got me through middle school? Knowing
drugs?
that there was high school.
Oh God.
The same height though you were in middle school. You're still the same height though.
Not even kidding. I was the tallest kid in my class in 4th grade.
That's because you went to school with all Asians.
No, it was Catholic school.
Oh,
and at that point, I think that's why the priest stopped looking at me, because I was out of the age range that they were looking for, and then everybody started getting taller, and I did not get taller.
So that saved you. Your height saved you from pedophilia.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Tori Spelling. He thought Tori Spelling was hot.
Tori Spelling looks like a moose. Don't even know.
Damn,
it's not an argument,
bro.
It's a fact. Tori Spelling looks like a moose.
Cannoli, who was your favorite?
On 90210?
I know who you're going to say. I know who he's going to say.
I mean, I'm not old. I never watched it.
She didn't come till all later on, though.
Look, I'm the young hit person on this podcast.
Yes, you are. That's why we need you.
What got me through the 80s? New Wave, The Cure. Yeah, the 80s era. I got you, Joker voice. Me was Tiffany Amber Thiessen when she came on. That was
trash.
That's all I needed.
Who was your favorite? Did you ever watch it, Meatball?
No.
He was like 2. So. No. He was like 2 years old.
My sexual awakening was Mean Girls.
Obviously.
That's what happened. That's the real reason why I quote it all the time, is because that was my sexual awakening as a child.
Shannon was hot till she showed her feet in Playboy.
Joker
Kelly Kapowski. Tyler, Tiffany Amber Thiessen was in that show kind of towards the end.
She's not even the hottest chick in the show.
Bro, Kelly Kapowski is incredible.
Luke Perry was.
The internet is like my father, in and out. Oh my god. World, you have fucking problems, and I love every minute. So
I think he meant it as in like he's in and out, like the father's in and out of his life, and I think you took it as like Father O'Brien was in and out of me.
Yeah.
Yes, he did, because he's a friggin' pervert.
Goddamn.
What do you want me to? How do you want me to take hottest mean girl, Meatball?
Oh, hottest mean girl.
Oh, without it, and it's still the one. Oh my god, I can't think of her name right now.
Lacey, is she the brunette, the blonde, or the redhead?
She's the blonde, and she's the one that plays the.
Oh, Rachel McAdams.
Oh, Rachel
McAdams.
Not Rachel McAdams, the one that dated Justin Long in real life. Oh my god, hold on.
Oh, you're talking about the crazy one. Not the crazy one, but she was in the movie with Ted. She was in the movie Ted with Walk Wahlberg. She was his girlfriend. Oh god, the blonde.
Yes.
That was Mila Kunis in that movie.
Amanda Seyfried.
Oh, Amanda Seyfried. Okay.
Yo, I'm sorry.
You're right.
There's leaked nudes of her on the internet.
Jesus
and it was
Christ.
The greatest day of my life. I legitimately, Greg, you know how I am. Cannoli, you know how I am. I don't take days off of work. I don't call out sick. I legitimately was driving to work and I was like, nope, we're turning back home.
Turn back, I gotta do this.
I went back home, called out, and I was like, 8 hours of full chafage. Used all the lotion in the house. It was amazing. So if you guys want to Google that, they're out there. It is amazing.
Yeah, man. Everybody, Jesse Spano and Showgirls.
God.
Great. Oh my god. Thank you. That was the hottest person in Saved by the Bell, and then Showgirls.
Jessie Spano was the hottest girl in Saved by the Bell?
For sure.
Why?
Lindsay Lohan, there's a drink after her.
Tiffany Amber Thiessen, you knew was going to end up being a basic bitch housewife that couldn't figure out shit in life. So she was going to go date someone 6 foot with 6 inches with 6 figures income. That was it. That's all she was.
And then you had Lisa Turtle. That didn't she turn her skin white in real life?
Bro, you date Lisa Turtle, you lose 100 points on your credit score. Get out of here.
Jesus. Leaked nudes. So she's saying Amanda Seyfried went full frontal in a movie.
So correct. And those ones are good, right? The full frontal in a movie was very tastefully done and great. For the leaked nudes are next level. Next freaking level. And one of them's with Justin Long. And like a couple of them were with Justin Long.
I didn't know they even dated.
Oh my god, yes. Oh god, yes.
Oh, hey,
you might say your prayers to Jesus Christ. I say mine to her.
Whoa. Jesse is ugly, see? There you go.
Okay,
so if I get you a play date with her, you'll stay on the podcast?
I mean, can we make it Emma Stone? Because that we could do a
Yeah, we know. Well, you almost had a thing with Emma Stone. I have a whole video about that. Yeah, that's Wait, Jennifer Lawrence was Jennifer Lawrence was the first. Yeah, she was because she was the first everything. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. He is correct. She was the first. Yep.
Wait, what Wookie be? What did Wookie be?
To be fair, the full frontal was tasteful. The full frontal in the movie was tastefully done. The leaked nudes were just.
Wait, hold on. She goes, this dude said
that's what I'm referring to. Like, the movie was tastefully done. The leaked nudes were.
Look at this. Weird worlds like you.
I might need time after this podcast.
Oh, God. Here we go. Wait, Wookie B. Bed says Siegfried equals Gollum, but still hot.
You know, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. I can see the comparison there.
I want to debate you, but I would lose that debate.
No, he's not wrong. Oh my God, what a freaking crazy show. So we learned a lot today. We learned that John Douglas is a competent writer, knows a lot about the industry, and that
World comedy, amazing. It's facts. His latest comment is facts.
Well, he would say that. Yes, Real World would say that.
It is 100% facts.
Yeah.
Look, there's a reason why voyeur is one of the top related searches.
That is true.
2022.
Did you enjoy the J-Law and leaked nudes then?
I don't like Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't either. She does nothing for me. Nothing.
She definitely had that Girl Next Door, right? but she tries to not pull off the girl next door. Like my top 3 leaked nudes of all time is Amanda Seyfried. Oh my God, who's the wife of Justin Verlander? She was this
Kate Upton.
Kate Upton. Kate Upton's leaked nudes, fire. And then the one from ESPN that we talked about that one time that had her, Erin Andrews, her leaked nudes.
Oh yeah,
elite.
Okay. She's definitely spank bank, but not in the top row. Jesus, conversation go.
This is the conversation everyone subscribed for.
Other than Redbeard, send me the link anyway. I never understood why she won that Oscar. Her debut was nothing. I don't get that either. I have some ideas, Vex.
I can tell you why. It's because
I have some ideas.
Wound between her legs. That's it.
Yeah. Did she use that hatchet wound to get?
That's how she got anything. What is she good at? She's not ridiculously good looking. Like she's not super talented. What is she good at? I mean,
well, she's the first female action star. Remember, she said that. No, nobody's ever done one. Yeah, I could
not
spank
Sigourney Weaver or nothing. No, not Sigourney Weaver or nothing.
But she was Vex because she was groundbreaking.
Did anyone notice that? Like we talk about movies, I know nothing. I can't contribute. We start talking about leaked nudes. I am the expert on the subject.
This was funny. She looks like J-Law's the one who complained about her Starbucks order during sex. She was 16 when she made her first movie. Wow, that's creepy.
Ooh. Jennifer Lawrence?
What was her first movie?
Really? Debbie Does Dallas.
Was it
3? Return to Dallas.
The first female does everything free. Part 3. Have you seen all the photos with her and Harvey Weinstein? I'm not saying. No, it's true. Yeah, I agree. Oh no, that's how she got her roles.
So you're saying I need to do some research tonight, Joker Voice. You know what?
Just for science.
I'll take it away. Yeah, for science, I'll take that away.
I think that Hillbilly Woodsman. Oh, that's right. I remember that. Winterbone. Was it Winterbone? Yeah, Winter. She got boned in Winter. That's how she got the role. Oh, like you see what I did there? Okay, I'm fucking done. Listen.
Wow.
It's been a great show. So we learned, like I said, John Douglas was a great guest. We learned that Filipino Meatball is going to ditch us for another podcast.
Look, I'm not saying it's the final done deal, but it's getting goddamn close, my friends.
Listen, things happen in this business.
And can I just get a little, my phone stayed in one place the whole time. Thank you.
Yes. I have no problems with people branching out on YouTube. It is what it is. It's just the business. It is what it is. And that's I've seen it happen.
You're a huge asset to the show, and I thoroughly enjoy your participation.
But
stars are meant to shine, man.
Let's be completely transparent with your audience, right? Like when Cannoli came and told all of us that he started his podcast, right? Like I was a huge proponent of it. I was like, yes, you should do this. I'll help any way that I want. And he's like, you should come on the podcast. And I was like I said, I'll help any way that you want other than coming on the podcast.
Right. Then you came on the podcast.
I was anti coming on the podcast. If you watch his first few live streams, go back on his channel. I was not there, but I was in the comments the entire time. If you watch any of his Monday stuff, that's what I do. It's like I go into his comments and I rile up the group, right? That's what I feel like my part of it is. So thank you for everyone with the kind words of like, oh, we like Cannoli. Put a shirt on. But
she's got one on.
I never thought I would ever have a single fan out there.
You do.
Having them subscribe.
That's the way it goes, dude.
People like you. People like you.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. It's kind of cool.
I know.
Awesome. It's a great feeling. And you know what? This is what this platform does. It brings people. There's a lot of people who are just like you. They say, well, hell, I didn't even want to do this. And then it creates a platform for them. And that's fine. Things change, shows change. I mean, you know how many people I follow on YouTube for years where things change within the dynamic of the group. It's fine. And the beautiful part about it is collaborations are born of that too. Other people from other shows come on, they're introduced, they cross stream with each other. This is the way it goes. So
I mean, let's be honest. If you had never started this, I'd have never come on here. I'd have never known who
100%
was. I would never be planning a highly felonious event that's going to happen. with Vex. I never found Left Eye Ego, right? I didn't where I subscribed to his channel, right? I'd have never known about the book Why Not Wichita, right? Which I read and now is like legitimately a top 10 book of mine, a favorite reads, right? So like just from you going out and going on the limb on it, I have gained so much. So thank you.
No, of course.
It sounds like, wait a minute.
Why
Wait a minute.
does it sound like in my last episode?
I was just going to say, this sounds like a freaking farewell. What kind of shit is this?
No, but here's the thing.
You know what? You know what I would do? I would do a farewell without.
Yeah, we know you would.
Bitch.
We know you would.
Well, hold
stupid.
on. We have JT Gunn on the show real quick.
Back,
we have JT Gunn who on his Wednesday show dressed like he was a Walgreens manager.
That was hysterical. That was
hysterical. He came on dressed up with a shirt and tie on, had Joker voice on as a guest. And I said, hey, so he was saying how he hit 250 subs on his show. Great job, by the way. Well deserved. And so I said, I said, this guy hits 250 subs and dresses like he's a manager at Walgreens.
And he does look like one because I used to work at Walgreens, and that's exactly how our managers dressed. Yes.
But I love JT. It was New Year's. I get it. No, listen, I love JT.
It was funny though. It was great.
It was freaking hilarious.
It was great.
But no, again, this is what this platform does. Again, I got Whiskey Banger to do this, and the last person I thought would want to do, because again, he's not. He said he was shy. So this is what it does, and I love talent is talent, and it expands.
But you know what, Bill Meatball? Don't forget.
Oh, you're a piece of shit, is what you are.
There it is. That's what I'm here for.
Don't forget where it all started.
The meth, okay? That meth
in my pants
to get high.
In Cannoli's pants.
Thank you, JT. No, and that's what I mean. So it's never in. It's kind of the group model I follow with Geeks and Gamers, where even them people leave and then they eventually collaborate again when they get their own stuff going on. So how was the laptop, JT? Laptop is fantastic.
I will never have my own YouTube. Never. Oh look. Bounced him. Dang,
where the frick did he go, dude?
Look, now we can talk real shit.
Yeah, so let's talk about Cannoli and that friggin' beard he's trying to grow. It's horrible.
You like it? Oh, fuck.
What did she say?
Hi.
Nothing.
I'm gonna replay that now.
Beautiful.
Get off the show.
Nope.
Notice how the little Cannoli Sasquatch back there is still trash. Sketchy as fuck.
Yeah.
What happened to you, Cannoli?
Well, JT was asking me about the laptop, and then all of a sudden I hit a button and it just disconnected. So, but the laptop is great. I'm using it. It's fantastic.
Hey, fix my headphones or fix my microphone. How about we do that?
Oh, look at this. My friend from India.
Oh, hi.
What's up, buddy? Good morning is right for you. Wait, do you need help growing the beard? Why is it? Listen, do I need to?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. The wife got me a beard box kit for my birthday, right? Like, because I was going and she's like, you should take care of it. And it has beard oil, beard conditioner, wash, and all that, whatever. Like, 15 days? And then I've been using it. Like, it has changed this to, like, straight up, you should get it.
He's already vain enough. He has more friggin' products than I do. I can't be giving him another facial routine.
Look, he gained 4 inches of dick by losing weight. What do you want him to do?
That is true. That is true. See, look, it's not that I can't grow the full beard. Like, it's weird. Like, I can get the goatee go. I have gray hair too. This is a big problem. It just comes in white. I'm not even that old, and it's coming in white already.
The people want me to ask Miss Cannoli a question. He verified earlier that losing weight makes it grow whatever, right? Is it long enough to actually enter you yet?
Jesus. Twice. From a distance.
From a distance.
I can give you a piece of mine. You can add it to your face. And I'll do that, JT. It's like a chia pet. Do I just add water to it and it just grows eventually? Wait. What is Vex saying? Onion oil, rosemary water, and exfoliator. Fuck.
Yes.
Fucking.
Yep.
Okay.
That's in the thing.
That sounds like it would.
Don't skirt the question. The people asked you a question. We're waiting for our response.
Yeah, JT, yes, you are right. You were born with that freaking beard, man. That shit's just
I am going to plead the fifth because my mother-in-law and my daughter are watching.
That's.
I'll text you on the side.
Thanks, Jacob Ironside.
Go ahead.
Oh,
wait. I'll read it. Go ahead.
You'll read it.
Well, Weird World wants to know for Vex, how do you get onion oil? You don't want to know.
Well,
Actually, wait, you just go to a store?
the black market to get the onion oil.
You just go to a store, don't you? Like, I don't know.
Or you buy beard serum.
You just wipe your butthole at the end of the day.
Is Mrs. Cannoli going to assassinate someone? Yeah, the hoodie up. You don't know. She is she's Sicilian.
I am Sicilian.
It must be nice to have a Cannoli Sasquatch Productions hoodie.
See, nice. Joker wants to know if you have a side piece.
Yeah,
maybe.
Side piece of
maybe.
I might.
Why do you look like a fucking? What's that?
I could totally see Miss Cannoli having a mister. I could totally see that.
You know what? He told me I could have an affair with one of the Mets players that I really had a huge crush on, as long as he got lifelong season tickets.
Who was the Mets player?
Yeah.
David Wright.
Wright.
I would have an affair with David Wright.
Would you?
He gave me for a lifetime supply of his baseball gloves in a heartbeat.
No, Cannoli wanted season tickets.
I wanted tickets to the game, but I can't. Yeah.
No.
Lifetime.
Cannoli.
You want the baseball gloves?
He doesn't own the Mets.
He works for them or some shit.
Not anymore. Does he? Does he work for them now?
I think so. He has like some bullshit role that they gave him.
It didn't matter. I was just going to send him tickets every once in a while to shut him up while I was having a side piece.
Here's the thing. I think David Wright would be a pillow princess because of his back issues. I said it out loud.
Why are you breathing into the mic like that? That's disgusting.
ASMR.
Because ASMR.
No.
It's gonna be so special.
Oh my God! You promised Janet you wouldn't, even though she.
By the way, people in the chat, I know the YouTube's probably not going to like that I'm saying this. So apparently, YouTube is doing their purge thing again, where they just purge people's subscriptions. So if you're in the chat listening to anybody who's in the chat that you do follow, including me on YouTube, please make sure that you're still subscribed, because that happened to me earlier today. I lost a bunch of subscriptions and I had to have people resubscribe. Whiskey Banger,
yes.
Dear Girly is
a bitch.
Him and his lovely bride had a baby recently, and so he's taking care of. He's got 2 kids now, and she's home resting, so he'll be off for a little while.
My friend, 2 under 2.
Yeah, two babies under 2. So he's a little busy, which is understandable. All right, thanks JT for checking.
Yeah, busy making a third.
Here, hold on. Here.
Yes, Gandalf identities as a white wizard. I love that name.
Here's the baby.
Look at the baby.
There it is.
Look at the baby.
That is little Everly.
Everly.
That's what Whiskey Banger was doing.
By the way,
he's busy.
That is
great name.
What is that? Why does that baby look a lot like Cannoli?
Easton?
You got some questions.
Shh.
Can I just tell you? I got to watch Easton like the Monday of New Year's, and he loves this show on Netflix called Trash Truck, and he goes, "There's my trash truck." So you know what Auntie Cannoli did? Mrs. Cannoli, she sent him a trash truck from Amazon the next day because I'm a good auntie.
Well, this is the reason why YouTube.
Hold on, question.
Yeah. Yep.
Who paid for the trash truck? Like, is it from your personal account?
Yes, of course it is. We went out together, and I sent it to his house, and I addressed it to him.
Do you guys like meld funds together?
Yeah, we have our own account. No, we have our own account, and I just spend all of it.
Yeah, basically.
So Greg should get part of credit on that, right?
But I signed the card from Auntie,
Thank you.
Auntie Mrs. Cannoli. What?
So all monetized. Yeah, this is the problem with YouTube right now. They have this deal with the NFL ticket coming next year, so they're going to make a shit ton. They don't want people who are monetized to have foul mouths, because the NFL is not going to want to sponsor a platform that has channels that people curse a lot, which is bullshit.
But they sponsor players who beat their wives. Please.
Oh no, they sponsor a lot worse than just. They sponsor stuff with. I want to say, because I'll get kicked off of YouTube. Vex knows what I'm talking about. She brought it up yesterday.
Vex, I haven't seen Vex in the comments in a while.
Oh no, she's
there.
chatting.
Is she?
She just put an XD in there, which meant
my bad.
Yep.
XD. You still didn't answer the question. I'm just saying. People want to know.
We know what you're saying.
Yes. Okay. Yes. There's your answer. Yes.
Yeah, the NFL is dead. By the way, the way they're
cut it up, Cannoli. It's on. Put it on the internet forever. She acknowledged that it's like 17 and a half inches around now.
27 inches.
Whoa. I didn't give a no. You're getting now, please.
Like it's just like it's like Pinocchio lying.
I have something here. Actual photo. It's a baseball bat.
You remember, it's like when Pinocchio lies, it just, it gets longer and longer and longer. All the monetized channels have to do is demonetize super. Oh, I see. So that's why they do that on Friday Night Tights. They demonetize and then okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the NFL is dead. The way Goodell was handling this game with the Bengals, it's ridiculous. How he's not finished. He's gonna do a coin toss to determine who makes a playoff or who has a seed.
That is bullshit because they are all so close. It's you know what? It's much like the election.
The league really is. It's a sham.
You know who that affects? You know whose team that affects?
Yours.
The Ravens.
Yep.
And listen, I'm excited for the Giants doing what they're doing, but it does take away that it sucks because the league is trash. It's been trash for a while, and it's unfortunate.
It has been, and you know what? Cannoli swore he wasn't watch it, but because his Giants are doing well, and he's actually has, something enjoyable to watch, he's been watching it. But the minute they start kneeling, go ahead.
You notice how I start making fun of YouTube, and the stream starts taking a shit signal-wise all of a sudden.
I didn't notice that. I thought it was because I was wearing a hood.
Sometimes I wonder.
You look like a pedophile right now.
I'm
only for you, big boy. Oh, what? Watch what you say there. That was close. What's the? See, look. She's freezing. Her phone's freezing.
Who? I'm fine. I'm not freezing.
Oh, you're fine.
You're acting like Aiden Roth right now for no reason.
Jesus Christ. There's something very wrong with you.
They just replayed the game and stopped being pedusas about it. And just because, let me tell you something, it's going to be much like when no offense to father-in-law, but when the Dodgers won during COVID, it's not going to be fair.
Doug, this makes sense. People thought this would be the outcome, that they would just end it in a tie. That would have been,
you would have thought.
One of the scenarios. I would be like, okay, I guess a tie pretty much locks the number one. Yeah, the Chiefs are number one. That's true.
Yeah, Chiefs are number one.
Sure. Yeah. So, on that note, oh God, 3 Trulies, and that's it.
I know.
Wow,
I
JT, I get it, JT. It's been tough. I follow my team. I think we can all, even Meatball. I follow my team because I'm a fan of the team. They're doing well, but it's very hard to watch the games. It's not that the product is terrible. All the politics aside, it's just a shitty. It's not well put together sport anymore. It's bad.
Because you look pretty.
What?
I always look pretty for you. Anyway, on that note, we had a fantastic stream tonight. Thank you for John Douglas, of course, Meatball as always, and then Mrs. Sasquatch. I have a full goddamn slate coming up next week. Wow.
It's obnoxious. Ugh.
So Monday we have our Mischief Mayhem movie. We're doing a review of Silence of the Lambs. So follow us there. You have seen it. So I have to watch that this weekend. 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time with Vex Electronica, White Bear, and Copa Catania. So be there for that. Tuesday, I'm going to be on a Jacob Ironside show with Pops. I think that's at 6:30 Mountain Standard Time. We're going to talk about the movie 12 Angry Men, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. Wednesday, I am supposed to be on with Left Eye Ego's channel to talk playoff football, ironically.
Sick invite.
Yeah, that's not my channel. Just saying. And then Thursday, I more than likely will be on Roman the Empire show with Copa Catania. We're going to talk about the Coen brother movies. And then Friday, of course, we're back here. So 5 days in a row, you can find me somewhere. And I'll post those on my community pages and Twitters and all that good stuff.
Are you going to tell them what the theme is for next week?
No, Philomena People had a great theme for next week. We're going to do a movie. We're going to work on this. We're going to do a movie draft. So we're going to pick categories for a movie and draft picks basically for that genre of movie and what the top 5 would be. And of course, the chat. So, science fiction. What's the top 5 you're going to draft out of? What becomes number 1? The number 1 pick.
Should I do action. Should I do like?
Yeah, you got to do.
Is everybody going to get a category?
We haven't worked out the details of that yet.
No, we're going to work those details up. But so basically, next Friday show on this show, we are going to do a comedy category, action, adventure, all that shit, drama.
Well, we don't know if we're going to be short a person.
Well, he's short. Period.
Height joke? Is that a height?
It is a height joke. It is a height joke. Well, he'll be on for that show because that's his idea.
You're on this thing, but we personally attack my height.
Midget. Oh, I can't say midget. I can't say midget on the air. Sorry.
First of all, if I was knocking your height, I would have said midget, short person, or dwarf. I was merely wondering if you were going to attend the show.
At this point,
no. Oh wow! So I'm going to be on with, Pops and Magitech Mags. That is awesome. That's a great. I'm looking forward to Tuesday a lot because I
just so you know, you can find me at my full-time job Monday through Thursday at my office I work at, and then I will be in the kitchen trying to wrap things up before 6:30 because he podcasts in our downstairs area. And then I will be upstairs watching each podcast Monday through Thursday of next week. Meatball, where will you be?
Making love to his hand.
I'm Meatball. I was like, what the
Where will you be? Where will you be next week?
Monday, I will be in the comment section just destroying people's lives.
Yeah, me too. I'll be taking notes so this asshole can do his stuff. Go ahead.
Tuesday, I will be at the Tiny Human's first ever swim class.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to swim class. Well, I take that back. The other swim classes were like how to survive so you don't die in the fucking water.
She's a little mermaid.
Gotcha.
This one's like, we're going to swim for competition stuff at this point.
Okay.
Wednesday, I will probably be doing nothing. Thursday, I have season opener for the competitive men's softball league I'm in.
Oh, you and your softball. Good boy. I want femurs broken.
Bro, I gotta tell you.
That's your specialty.
Do it. Want me to tell a story? Real quick. So I play competitive level softball, and back in the day, I used to play really competitive level, like upper levels, playing tournament teams, making money off of it, kind of deal. So we were playing in a charity tournament, and one of the teams that we were playing against was Phoenix Fire Department, right? So all the players were firefighters. And it got kind of heated just with competitive sports, right? People talking shit or whatever. And one of them, I'm a pitcher, by the way, blew middle on me, and I snapped him off, got him out, and I talked shit about it the whole way through. So then their pitcher talked shit about us, and specifically me. So I came up, and I absolutely rocketed a shot off of his leg, right, his right leg, to where the ball hit him, and the ball landed over the fence, over the third base dugout. That's how hard that thing came off of him. He went on the ground, had to be, ambulance came on the field to put him on a stretcher to take him off the field. Fast forward 9 months later or whatever, I see this guy at a tournament, right? And he is still in a leg cast. And what ended up happening was I broke his femur with the
Holy
shot.
shit.
And due to the femur breakage, he had to stop being an active firefighter and had to go the clerical side. So now he's the clerical side in the Phoenix Fire Department because of it.
So he hates you.
No, he actually thanked me because he had been trying to get into the clerical side, right? And
no kidding.
Injury, yeah, he told me like years later, it's like, I would have never gotten the spot where I am now, where I work a normal 9 to 5 kind of deal, right? Without this actually happening to me. Granted, he broke his femur, so it's like it's probably not the greatest day of his life.
Right.
But
No.
when Cannoli brings up breaking people's femurs, I had actually done it with a softball before.
Well, that is a really heartwarming story to end the podcast with. Thank you so much.
And then
that's one of my favorite stories of all
time. We'll see
time.
if I'm here. There you go. On Friday, we'll see if we're here.
Yeah.
We'll be somewhere. I'll steal some of yours. I'll bring some of your subscribers over to the other one, or the other way around. I'll bring some of his subscribers.
Just bring
over.
some of the other one.
Maybe I'll come over and join the podcast.
I feel like we should just hijack the podcast. I'll just send you guys all the links.
Just send out all the links and just.
Yeah.
This is our podcast, and then you do the Bane voice. Like, do you feel in charge?
You feel in charge. Awesome time. I want to thank the chat. The chat was a fire tonight, by the way.
Yes.
All the usual suspects that came in, all the new people, new subscribers. Thank you so much. Let's see here. And I think I did make JT Gunn a moderator because he did oh God, what did I do? I broke something again. I broke something. There you are. I see you now. Hold on. Let me get back to my screen. I don't know what I did. I actually hit a button and now everything just went away.
Well, we still see you.
There you go. Herman's P. Hunter's the Lord. Hey, man, thanks for joining the show. Thanks for subscribing. Appreciate you, man. JT Gunn, of course, always Vex. Tim Tringle Jr. Let's see. Gandalf identifies as a white wizard. I love that. A Joker voice, Jacob Ironside, of course. Wookie Be Bad is always supporting us. Appreciate you, dude. If I missed anybody, R2 Icky showed up before. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, but I am going to go bounce out now and love you. See you Monday on Mischief Mayhem Movie and see you soon. Bye.
Bye.